Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easier to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm writing. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
You know, I'm still doing stunts. You know, and with concussions I've got, you know, I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, you know, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
All right, everybody, now's the time. Brown right, motion, tailback slant. Let's put the women and children to bed and go looking for dinner, all right? On one, ready? Go, 13! Coming up, go, 13! Hey!
Oh, we cannot wait for this one. Intern Noe, the pro, will be here with me here in studio. But first, it's time to hit our pre-games. Grant Goodwin, Coach X, and I break it down. Our Central Texas crew breaks it down. Chris Welch with his picks, and Kevin's Corner, all starting right now on the pregame show. All right, we are back here on the pregame show, and this is a legitimate first. We have Grant Goodwin, we have me, and we have Coach X live here on our pregame shows this year. Thanks for being here, Coach X.
Hey, man, you know, you guys asked me to do this, and, you know, after some solid convincing, I finally agreed to it. But, you know, I'm a busy man. I can't.
Did you ask him?
No, I really didn't.
I didn't ask him.
How
the hell did you get on here?
I got 17 emails and 4 texts about we need you. And I said,
We do.
Finally, after a while, I said, okay, I'll give in.
We need Lindell Eagle fan to watch the show, and we know you rage bait him. Playoff tree.
Wait, who's that? Who y'all talking about?
The Lindell fan on Smokey that absolutely hates Coach Jackson.
He hates me, and you know what? It's like Adam Sandler.
Got a brother in arms.
Like, shut up. Like Adam Sandler said in Wedding Singer. Yeah, well, I have a microphone, and you don't, Eagle fan, so you will listen to every word that I have to say.
Hey, man, real quick, Coach X, how's Snickers doing?
Snickers,
the dog that I rehomed to you during the Christmas party last year.
Yeah, I sold him.
No, okay.
Hey, what? I had left the Christmas party, I guess, at this point. What are y'all talking about?
I thought I think he's making that up. Who the hell did I give Snickers to?
I
don't know. Okay.
Somebody was hungry, I guess. I don't know.
I'm around you all football season, and I don't remember a dog. Are you sure you didn't take the neighbor's dog again?
I thought he was doing the hungry, why wait? Have a Snickers or whatever.
No,
I thought he was doing something like that as well.
I gave a dog away, and I thought I gave it him. Never mind.
I was going over
Can
my
we cut
production
that?
notes.
Never mind.
I
like
I
to
was
drink.
going
and
over
I
my
forget.
production notes, and I did not see anything about a Snickers. So I was like, "Where is this going?"
I did once give a cat to Grant. That's a true story.
I did, and my evil ex-wife still has it, and that is a mean cat, by the way.
That's why I gave it to you. Anyway, it is state championship week. Of course, we're going to be picking all of the state championship games and talking about them 4A, 3A, and 2A. But before we do that, just overall, what were y'all thoughts on the 2025 season?
Who goes first?
You go.
Me?
Yeah, go.
Man, so the regular season kind of played out kind of like what we thought, but man, when we got the last 2 rounds of the playoffs, things really started getting interesting, right? A lot of really good semifinal games, and some of them were upsets, and I just thought, we got new blood, right? I mean, outside of a few blue bloods in there, we still got some new blood this weekend, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, it was just good to be back coaching football after that trip through the Pacific Northwest. There's a lot of weird women up there, dude. I'm just telling you right now.
But they're usually kind of easy, right?
No, that's
They're
what they
not?
want. That's what they want you to think. You get them up there and they see a straight white man and they like lure you in with
It
dreams
was
of
that
cotton
it was that
candy.
Trump tattoo on your chest is what it was.
It was. I mean, they lure you in with dreams of cotton candy and open legs and ganja and all that stuff. And then those things are all taken away and snap shut at the wink of a hat. When they get you, when that door locks, there's some weird stuff that happens to you up there. So it was great to be back in the great state of Texas. And then y'all never really talk about my junior high C team, but we won the district we're in. We went 3-0. We went 3-0. We only had 3 games, but we won them all. All the other teams were scared. All right.
I heard that 125-pound nose guard you had is really tearing up the district and the C team.
It was hard. It was hard to get him on the field because he didn't have an ear. A helmet that fit him. He had a prosthetic ear. And so,
Prosthetic ear. Did he hear through it?
He couldn't. I mean, we tried. Like, hey, I was going to make him the quarterback, and I was going to speak into the ear and see if he could hear me out on the deal because we couldn't afford the communication system. It didn't work. It didn't work.
Y'all don't have the Apple iWatches on the C team.
We don't have that. We had the Apple. We had the eye ears, and so we tried that.
Which was Mickey Mouse ears.
It was, dude. It was that, and so
Civil War thing that stuck out.
His prosthetic ear kept coming off every time he got hit, and we'd have to tell him. And then,
well, the weird thing is they had a 125-pound nose guard, but a 275-pound running back. So it's the dynamic of the junior high C teams that are always fun.
We had
a 275-pound running back who runs like a 8-second flat 40 is the superintendent's kid, right? So you had to put him back there.
Yeah,
he's really hard to tackle. It's like it was like a Vader from WWE, dude, if you remember Vader. But yeah, we did have a one-legged deep snapper too. He snapped it and he rolled. He was pretty good. But other than that,
I can't wait to see this C team when they get up to varsity.
Hey, they'll be ready to go. Those guys would stick you. All right.
Oh man, can you get us sideline credentials to see one of y'all's games?
We play on Thursdays. We usually kick off around 4, so it's going to probably be tough for y'all to get here. But we'll figure
or
figure it out. No, it's the varsity.
Okay. But when they make it to varsity, will you get us sideline passes so we can come see these guys?
We'll do that. The varsity C team. We'll do that.
Y'all have a varsity C team.
Each one of them will have a little patch on their jersey of BC, and everybody will be like, "Man, they got a lot of captains." No, those guys were on the C team 6 years ago.
Y'all play Huntington, and you play Paris Chisholm,
Tulia and Tornilio.
Anthony.
If you want to impress me, instead of a one-legged snapper, give me a one-legged punter.
No, dude. No,
yeah. That's pretty awesome.
He's the quickest in the district. Catch, snap, kick, back on the ground.
Going back to the season, Grant and I, and of course, Coach X talking with us in text and stuff. We had talked about outside of 4A, 3A and down. It felt like this was going to be a year of change. Now, in saying that, we do have Munster and Shiner. That's a rematch, but I think that's a rematch everybody's kind of curious to see about. But when you look at Hamilton versus Joaquin, and then especially 3A Division One, and of course, we'll get into the actual state championship when we pick that one. But just 3A Division One was the most interesting because you had so many powerhouses. And yet, at the end of the day, Yoakum is one of the teams that just kind of survived maybe the toughest region.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Yoakum Region 3 and 3A Division 1 is a monster. I mean, Franklin, Columbus, Hitchcock. I mean, even the bad teams are good. I mean,
Yeah, they kind of cannibalized each other, right?
Yeah, I mean,
especially when you got to, and throw in Hardin in there, right? Who's very young, but is a very dangerous team. And then you got that with Franklin, Columbus, and all. I mean, geez, man, how do you handle that?
You get the heavy hitters, and then you got the ones that are like middle of the road in that region. But if you put them in a different region, they're probably, maybe playing in the fourth round of the playoffs. And like you said, in Hardin and Little River Academy and those guys like that. I mean, hell, you survive that gauntlet. Are you even able to play in the state championship game? I mean, you might just be the walking wounded going in. So,
I mean, that might have happened a little bit with Columbus losing to Yoakum a little bit, right? They left it all on the field against Franklin. Not saying Yoakum, wasn't the better team, because obviously they are, but Columbus just let a lot of their guts on the field against Franklin.
Yeah, I mean, one of their starting linebackers was out for that Yoakum game because of the Franklin game.
Yeah,
I mean, just the emotional high of you played that level, because I knew Yoakum would make it that far, but you guys kept billing up Columbus and Franklin about that it was the state championship game. But I mean, I don't think I missed but maybe 2 picks all playoffs. So, I mean, you have that, that game was built up as a state championship game by sideline to sideline, and those 2 guys other than Coach X. So, I mean, those kids go from that to, to the,
I almost missed my Joaquin over Refugio pick. I was close to losing that. I thought there for a while that Refugio was going to win that game, and I was like, I'm going to look like an idiot.
I mean, I picked Joaquin like nobody else.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I think
I don't think there was a whole lot of people in the state who didn't think Joaquin would beat Refugio.
Just you and I, really, to be honest with you.
It's Joaquin.
Terry picked Refugio by like 35 or something like that.
What an idiot!
I know.
Yeah, I know. It's all right. Man, he's still learning. He's only been in this for 35 years.
I've been
reading. He'll get it.
Just like Grant's parents reading how to, teach a retarded kid, I've been reading how to ball. I'm just trying to figure it out. But it is funny though that 2A Division 1.
Wait, did you just bring up the book that I found in my parents' house?
It's become such a thread this year. Everybody talks about, they legitimately on our Discord, which if you join our Patreon, you can see on Spooky Messages. Everybody thinks that's a joke, like you're just making that up, but that's a real thing.
No, I have the picture of the damn book.
She does,
which I will confront my parents once again at Christmas.
But anyway, going back to 2A Division 1, and we're not going to talk realignment now, but in saying this, it is crazy that this is a division that's getting 2 first-time state finalist teams, and then when the numbers came out today, Munster and Shiner are moving up to 2A Division 1, and it kind of feels like we're going to get a repeat of what we're having in 2A Division 2 and 2A Division 1 next year.
Oh yeah, there's a good possibility of that. I mean, that's a great game. Just the square-headedness of that game. Shiner versus Munster. I mean, the beer makers,
right?
Yeah, the beer makers versus the cheese makers. I mean, come on, dude. Come on, throw on some lederhosen, put on a feather hat, and start freaking doing some polka dancing.
We saw at the end of this game last year when Munster outlasted Shiner in a great game. Everybody looked at each other in the press box at AT&T Stadium and saw what both teams had coming back and saying, we're going to see this game again next year. And lo and behold, here we are.
But the crazy thing is, yes, but then that still was one of the toughest divisions in the divisions that we
Right, yeah.
all around. I mean, you look at just
Yeah.
what Munster had to do to get through to Region 2 and then to survive Groover, which, man, Groover did everything right in that game. Even Coach Carney said it, and you'll hear it on the pregame for that one. Groover outplayed Munster, but, I mean, Munster has that championship pedigree.
Well, I was talking to a guy from Munster at the Gunner Wall game. He was an ex-Gunner guy, and he had a kid that played for Gunner, moved to Munster, and he was talking about that Munster Groover game. And I said, man, that Groover defense was pretty darn good, right? And he said, yeah, they were a lot better than what we thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
And that summed it all up because Groover's defense was low-key one of the best defenses in the region, if not in the state.
They were, and again, when we get to that pick, Munster's also going through some injury issues, which might change how this state championship game is. But overall, though, I think the best thing is it's just been such a wide open season. I know when you look at 4A, you see, and I know Stephenville's a blue blood, but they haven't been there in a few years. Kilgore is back. In 4A Division 2, yes, you've got Carthage, but West Orange Stark, a blue blood, but they haven't been there in a while. And then again, 3A Division 1, crazy. 3A Division 2 is going to be fun. We get the Munster Shiner rematch, but we also get the Hamilton versus Joaquin. Looking outside of that at 5A and 6A, I don't know why. Maybe it's just been a couple years, but I'm actually interested in the Duncanville versus North Shore game again. I feel like that's now back.
Man, we get that one again.
Yes,
for 5,000 years in a row. We get, and both of them were off of well, at least Duncanville was off of upsets, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. All right, let's turn our attention to Kilgore versus Stephenville. Of course, Kilgore made it last year, losing to Salina. Man, this is one of those games that I can see this being a defensive slugfest. I also can see this being a big, high-scoring game. Grant, you start. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I think Stephenville has the edge up offensively. Obviously, and their defense is top notch. One of the best defenses in Class 4A. But I think Kilgore to win, Kilgore's Cam Christian at nose guard is going to kind of limit Zyler McClendon, the running back for Stephenville, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's what they're going to take away. Kilgore's going to take away the running game. Now, Trot Jordan, quarterback, has been money all year for Stephenville. Kilgore's got the quickness to jump on routes early, right? The short routes. But I just think Stephenville's offense, the way they can get the ball out quick with Trot Jordan on the edges, and then the deep ball, they've got two wideouts. They can go and get every 50-50 ball, it seems like, right? And their defense is going to limit Kilgore a little bit. I like Stephenville, but I think this is going to be a darn close game. I like Stephenville in a close one, though.
Coach X?
Yeah, I was at the the Salina Kilgore game last year in the state championship game, and I thought that was going to be a really good game. And Salina punched Kilgore in the mouth, and Kilgore said, "We're ready to go back to East Texas." And I don't know that it will be any different. I mean, Stephenville beat Ruston, who beat Longview. I know, like really, football's all about matchups and all that. I don't know that Kilgore will be the best team that Stephenville has played all year, and I think Stephenville will be the best team that Kilgore has played all year. I really do think that.
Well, they did play Carthage.
They did play Carthage.
I'm a big Carthage fan. I'm not so sure Carthage could beat Stephenville.
I get it.
And so I really do I like Stephenville, or I had a really good time in Stephenville from, in the early part of my younger years, or whatever F. Scott Fitzgerald said. In my younger, more vulnerable years, I had a lot of good times in Stephenville. A lot of times, I made that joke before. I got kicked out of city limits once lots of times. And And I used to be a bouncer at Ball Stocks. Ball Stocks not even in Stephenville anymore. They changed it all up. It's gone. But I used to walk right across the street from Tarleton into Ball Stocks, put my shirt on, and get to work. But
You know what? I went to Weatherford College my freshman year, and we used to go to ball stalks all the time. I wonder if you probably kicked me out once or twice, because I got kicked out once or twice.
I probably kicked you out more than once or twice. But
yeah, and you probably said, "Dude, that was the toughest dude I've ever kicked out."
That was the baddest dude in the history of Weatherford College right there. But anyway, I think it'll go this. I think it might be close for a while. Kilgore can run the football. They are really good on defense. But
darn good on defense, and that's what's going to keep them in this game.
So is Stephenville.
Yeah, they are.
Stephenville and Carthage was really good on defense last year, and they're always going to run the ball. They're going to run the power. They're going to do all that stuff. But I got to go with the Yellow Jackets in this one. Shout out to the I used to call it Stephenburg. So shout out to Stephenburg and Tarleton State University. I got to go with the Yellow Jackets.
Oh, what happened to the Texans, dude? Did you see that game?
Yeah, that was a tough way to lose.
Yeah, it was. And did you know they were offering dollar beers and dollar hot dogs?
And they were putting good-looking cheerleaders up on Twitter saying, "Come watch the game." I mean, they were doing everything they could to get people there.
A running back transferred at halftime. Announced it on Twitter that he was transferring. All right, going back to this game, I feel like this is going to be one of those games that's a defensive slugfest until the fourth quarter, and then things are going to happen. We've seen that so many times in the playoffs where all of a sudden big plays happen. I actually disagree with you, Coach X. I agree with what happened with Salina. I think this is a different Kilgore team. And you keep talking about the running game and everything, but Kason Brooks is breaking every Kilgore passing record. Last week, he threw for 236 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also ran one on the ground. On the year, he's thrown for 3,100 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. And this is a guy that hasn't had to play a lot of games. And I know it's way early in the season, but Grant will attest to this. Kilgore outplayed Carthage most of that game. KJ Edwards made
for the first half.
Well, even
for sure, and part of the third quarter, obviously, yes.
They had the bad start to the third quarter where they fumbled the ball deep in their own territory, but they made Jet Surratt look goofy at times, and I know
they did. But Terry, I'll remind you when Carthage got serious about it. Let's get KJ Edwards involved a little bit more.
Well,
I don't know that will
like KJ Edwards though.
Huh?
I don't think Stephenville has anything like KJ.
No, they don't. I mean, Zyler McClendon's a really good back, but no, he's not. He's not KJ Edwards. So yeah, I do agree with you there. I think one of these two teams is going to turn the ball over a couple of times, and that's going to be the difference because that's how close they are. But I just really like the balance of that Stephenville offense and their defense being very solid. Kilgore has a very solid defense, but I don't think Kilgore's offense is as good as Stephenville's offense.
See, I totally disagree. I think the difference is I think maybe Stephenville's defense is better than Kilgore's defense. I think Kilgore's offense is at least on par. And I do want to point out on the Ruston game, it's still a great win, but Ruston also had their number 1 rated tight end star out, and they also had a couple of other players that were beat up. But anyway, so you and Coach X have Stephenville. I have Kilgore. All right, here we go. We're now going to turn it over to Kevin.
Welcome back to the All-Tex Welding Supply by the numbers. It's week 16, state championship week at AT&T Stadium. I'll take a look at classifications 4A, 3A, and 2A. I'm Kevin McPherson, here to present by the numbers for the Sideline to Sideline podcast. So let's get started. Our first number is 11, the total number of plays that the Munster offense was able to generate in the second half against Groover. Yet the Hornets defense, it had to be tired, but it held on for a 21-18 win. Munster got a 71-yard touchdown pass from Kearney to Cunningham, just over 9 minutes left in a game that featured 5 lead changes. They'll be taking on Shiner That Shiner defense showed up again against Mount Enterprise. The Comanches give up just 10.7 points per game. This is a rematch of the 2024 title game. It's Shiner's defense against the Munster offense, averaging almost 450 yards per game. That will be the nightcap Wednesday at AT&T Stadium. Our next number, 23 for Joaquin, the total number of unanswered points in their upset win over number one Refugio last week. The Bobcats led 28-14, but an onside kickoff and then a fumble on a kickoff return helped the Rams. Could it be the year for the slot T Mafia? Well, the Rams average more than 300 yards rushing on offense, and they take on a Hamilton team that is a balanced offense. Hamilton averages 181 yards passing, 179 yards rushing, and for both teams, this is their first trip to the state title game. So really, it will be who blinks first, perhaps, in that 11 a.m. kickoff on Thursday at AT&T Stadium. Our next number, 12. That's the number of sacks for the Newton defense against East Bernard last week. Of course, East Bernard playing without their leading rusher, but it was big plays by the Newton offense that also contributed to a blowout win. Newton with 4 plays over 56 yards. Of course, Newton again will be faced against a very versatile passing attack in Wall. And really, this game might boil down to the Wall passing attack against the Eagles defense. Speed will definitely be on display. Wall has thrown for more than 4,000 yards, but the Newton defense relies on speed and tenacity. That game, 7 o'clock Thursday night. Our next number, 27. That is the combined points per game allowed by both teams in the Class 3A Division I Championship, Yoakum and Grandview. We might expect a shootout here. Of course, Yoakum is led by SMU commit Xavier Barnett and a freshman running back, Jamarquise Robinson, but Grandview may have a matchup problem with wide receiver Blue Hubbard, 6'2", 223 pounds. That's a 3 o'clock Thursday kick at AT&T Stadium. Our next number, 45. That is the length of the game-winning field goal for Stephenville kicker Brighton DeVito in a 24-21 win over defending state champion Salina last week. The Yellow Jackets gunning for their 7th state title. They average almost 47 points per game, but they are meeting perhaps the best defense, maybe in all classifications, but definitely Class 4A in Kilgore. The Bulldogs have 3 shutouts. They're giving up only 8.5 points per game. That is our first game Friday at AT&T Stadium. So again, maybe another offense versus defense showdown. The last number for Week 16, and by the numbers, is 19. That is the combined state championship game appearances for both Carthage and West Orange Stark. Call this the pedigree or the blue blood matchup. These two teams have actually only played one time since 1977, and that was in the 2013 quarterfinals when Carthage eliminated the Mustangs 28-14. Both these teams have 14 titles combined in their trophy shelves. Carthage seems like an unstoppable freight train this year, averaging 51.5 points per game, putting up 63 points in 3 of their playoff games. The West Orange Stark defense, 19.4 points per game. The Mustangs, of course, started 2-3 this season, so a bit of a surprise in their run through Region 3. But they are the true underdog, and they have the true underdog representative and running back Kelby Jefferson, all of 5'3", 150 pounds. This is a 3 o'clock kick Friday at AT&T Stadium. The Altex Welding Supply, by the numbers for Week 16, presented by Altex Welding. Altex is an independently owned provider of industrial cylinder gases and welding products. They serve all of Texas and its businesses, schools, and the many talented welders across the Lone Star State. Now, back to Grant and Terry on the Sideline to Sideline podcast.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Central Texas Football Podcast. I'm Kenny Heath coming to you from the worldwide headquarters in Huron, Texas. And joined with me always is Mr. Ryan Fox. Ryan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, sir. It's state week, most exciting week of the year, and I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Doing great, man. It's kind of a big day. We'll talk about it here in a little bit, but the cutoff numbers came out for UIL. That's, state week, realignment. That's always, I love realignment, just trying to guess. It doesn't matter, no matter what I guess, what's going to happen. It's not going to be right. Whatever school I think should be in what district usually doesn't happen. Last year, I think kind of went the way I thought it would with Whitney, just being with these schools around the area. But, they have taken Whitney up north with the Dallas schools. 15 years ago, we were out west with Eastland and Breckenridge and Comanche and stuff. So it's always fun. Kind of a little bit of more movement than I remember in the past this week with some of our local teams. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. First, we'll start. First, we want to thank our sponsors. You've been here with us all year. We still got a few more episodes to go, so we appreciate all your support. And we're going to get started with our. I'll let you introduce them.
All right, and then our final of our 3 Central Texas.
Oh, this one. Hold on. That game is 3:00 Thursday, correct?
Yes, sir. 3:00 Thursday at AT&T Stadium, and then our next game, the 4A Division I State Championship. Again, this is one of those teams that's kind of on the border of our coverage, but Stephenville, 15-0, taking on Kilgore, 14-1. Again, the 4A Division I State Championship game, which I believe will be the 11 a.m. kick on Friday morning. Kilgore was in the state championship game last year, and they kind of ran through that east side of the bracket last year too. And they ran into a buzzsaw in Salina last year and lost that one. I believe it was like 49-21 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're kind of running into another buzzsaw here with Stephenville. Now, the team beat Salina last week 24-21, but that was a hurt Salina team. But still, on top, all things considered, I think Stephenville has been the most well-rounded team in 4A Division I. They have a great defense led by their middle linebacker, Hudson Butchie. They got a great offensive line led by Colton Dirth, son of former Tarleton Texan and NFL veteran tight end James Dirth. And his brother Kendall was the offensive line at Tarleton as well. And then, Trot Jordan, quarterback. They have a lot of weapons. They're very well-rounded. I really like this Stephenville team. But this Kilgore team is better than they were last year, which is saying something because they were pretty damn good last year.
Yeah.
So I think this game is going to be Stephenville's, obviously it's a state title game. It's probably going to be your toughest test of the year. But with this Kilgore team, they've been phenomenal. They've given up I think they had given up 17 points total in the playoffs. And I think in their last 4 games, they've shut out their opponents. So that is going to be, at the very least for Stephenville's offense, this is going to be their biggest test because this is probably the best defense that they've played all year. And I think Kilgore, I think they have a chip on their shoulder because they made it last year. They got that close and then just ran into Salina. And, I think I'm not sure who to pick in this one because I think these teams are about as evenly matched as you can get. But with Stephenville in the last 2 rounds of playoffs, again, phenomenal wins against Salina, and they got their lick back against Canyon West Plains, who knocked them out of the playoffs last year. So they probably have a chip on their shoulder as well. Like, hey, we're back where we belong. And so this is another tough one for me, but I think this is going to be one of the best games of the weekend.
Yeah, I think for me, when I think Stephenville, I still think offense. I think Cowboy Coy, Coy Eakin and that state championship game. But man, like you said, their defense, Hudson Butchie and Caleb Taylor are tackling machines, dude. Over 100 tackles. You talk about Colton Dirth, 26 tackles for losses. CJ Spellmeyer, 23 tackles for losses, 10 sacks. This defense is phenomenal. Yeah, and then you got an offense with Zyler McClendon, who's rushed for 1,600 yards, and Zyler McClendon, 28 touchdowns. Trot Jordan, who can thrown for over 3,000 yards. He can run the football if he has to. Aiden Jurgens is a big-time recruit, 833 yards, 11 touchdowns at wide receiver. To me, Stephenville is just the total package, and they got a field goal kicker. That dude nailed one. So they've got the special teams, they got the offense, they got the defense. You look at Kilgore, Kason Brooks, LeKalion Graves. They got a two-headed monster last week. Big game last week at running back with Maddox Wright and Rayshon Williams. They haven't been tested in the playoffs, like you said. They've kind of blown through that region
Yes, sir.
in the state semifinals. Only loss was to Carthage. First game of the year. I think it was a relatively close game.
Yes, it was.
Man, it's going to be a great one.
Yes, sir.
In my opinion, one of the better games, top 2 or 3 games of the week.
Mhm.
Being AT&T, and I'm just going to continue to be a homer. And Stephenville's not my home, but it's in our coverage area, and I just think this is the year that Stephenville gets it done again.
I agree. Stephenville's been my state championship favorite in 4 Division I pretty much since the beginning of the season. They've been, just phenomenal on both sides of the ball. I like Stephenville in this one, but boy, they're going to have to earn it, especially against this Kilgore defense. And I think their defense is going to have to step up to what's a really good Kilgore offense on the other side of the ball too. But I agree with you. I think this is a top 2 or 3 game of the entire week. But I like Stephenville in a very, very close one as well. I think this is going to be like a 28-24 type game. I think it's going to be a phenomenal one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be.
Hey everyone, Chris Welch here with High Plains Sports Network. Hey, let's talk about now 4A Division I matchup between Stephenville and Kilgore. I tell you what, Stephenville took care of the Region 1 teams, knocking off Randall out of Canyon ISD, and then they turned right around and knocked off West Plains. I tell you what, that was a great ball game. If you didn't see the West Plains Stephenville game, you're talking about halftime adjustments done well. Stephenville did that down at the half, but I tell you what, they came out and just rolled West Plains. Stephenville comes in 15-0, undefeated, battle-tested. They're ready for this game. Kilgore comes in 14-1, and I'm telling you, they are an explosive ball club. They can score in bunches as well. 49-0 win over Lavernia. So they've got a lot of speed. They got a lot of playmakers, and they score a lot. I think this game's going to come down to execution and who doesn't make the mistakes. I think Stephenville wins by limiting those big plays from Kilgore and controlling possession. Kilgore wins by creating those big plays and being explosive on offense and creating turnovers. You know, the smart play says choose Stephenville, but I'm an East Texas boy. I know I live in Amarillo, but I'm an East Texas boy, born out there in Atlanta, Texas, raised in Marshall, Texas. I'm an East Texas kid. I'm going to take Kilgore in this one. Bold prediction. I think it's also going to be a pretty good shootout. I'm going to call this 42-35. I may be completely wrong. This game may be 14-7. Who knows? But I think Kilgore's just got some speed. They play a lot like Carthage in some ways. So I'm going to give this edge to my boys out in East Texas, to Kilgore, 42-35. But let's watch and find out.
Yes, let's in fact watch and find out as we have Chris Welch and in studio, Intern Noe the Pro. Intern Noe the Pro, meet Chris. Chris, meet Intern Noe the Pro. Let's watch some football.
Hey, Chris.
Alrighty,
man.
Good.
I like your pick, though, for this game. I kind of agree with you. I know a lot of people think this is going to be more of a defensive game, but usually those are the games that you start seeing the offense have some big plays.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this game. It's going to be an interesting one, I think. And like I said, it might go completely the opposite way. Who knows? But I'm excited.
So we're waiting now as they're about to kick off. First game of the day. We've got 2 that we're doing, and then sideline to sideline shuts down for a couple weeks. Man, I am just so glad that last night we finally had at least a good game for 90% of that game.
Yeah.
So Kilgore won the toss, and they're going to receive.
That's interesting, right? You would think they would defer that one, but I think that tells you they want to get their offense on the field and get moving early.
I agree. And Stephenville in the all whites with the blue helmet, Kilgore in the red helmet, red top, black pants. Both have just a clean, nice look.
I like it.
Yeah, Stephenville with the old school stripes too, man.
Yeah.
Like a bumblebee.
It's a yellow jacket, man. God, come on, stick with it.
They almost look, they're very, from up here, very Canadian looking from their uniforms when Canadians wearing their all whites.
Yeah, it really is. The only difference is that, Canadian's black, but that dark blue is so blue.
Yeah, it almost looks black.
That's a good point.
Oh, I thought it
Nope.
was black. I didn't realize it was blue.
Yeah, they're dark blue and yellow.
Flag right on to start off the game. Boy, that last night's game, Newton, that just kind of killed them with all those penalties. Let's hope this doesn't end up the same.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I mean, at time Wall outplayed Newton, but for the most part, Newton controlled Landon York in that passing game. But Newton just kept shooting themselves in the foot. The block punt for a touchdown. I mean, I was reading some of the stuff from down in Southeast Texas, and Coach Johnson was just talking about, like, we had the game in hand and we let it kind of get away from us. Kason Brooks, everybody thinks of Kilgore as the old traditional power set Kilgore, but Kason Brooks on the air, 3,100 yards, 29 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I mean, they can push the ball down the field.
Yeah, they've got the speed to go with it, right? So.
Yep.
It was kind of funny because they showed a lot of their defensive performances in the playoffs. But yeah, they definitely have the offense.
And the first play of the game shows that as a nice run right there as Kilgore with the first. We've seen that a lot in these games. The first play of the first offensive team getting big yards.
It's almost like they're scripted.
Hey.
I mean, you hear about a lot of teams doing that at all levels of football where they'll script the first. The classic number is 15, but the first 5, 15, 20 plays, they're all scripted, especially for teams that – no, I'm not saying the case of these two teams because they're both in the state championship, but teams that are struggling or teams that are not really known for having the offensive identity, it's kind of a way to build confidence for teams. So, yeah, screen passes are usually good way to do it. It's safe for the quarterback. As a former offensive lineman in high school, it's easy for me to do that read because I'm not going downfield. I'm just trying to fake like I'm doing a run block and then going out for pass protection once the ball is out the hands of the quarterback.
11-16 here, first drive. Kilgore with the first down, and now it's 2nd and 7. They haven't really been talking about the attendance this week. I'm kind of wondering if maybe it wasn't as good yesterday because, I mean, we saw tight crowd shots, but you didn't see the overarching crowd shots like they normally show.
Yeah, typically, though, Wednesday and Thursdays are low days. Friday, it really starts to pour in. And then, boy, Saturday's just a whole nother ball game out there.
Well, and to be fair, I think being, on TV,
Yeah, the bigger schools.
free. This is the first time it's been free where you didn't have to have cable.
Oh, interception.
Wow.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, he's a little ahead of us.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, that's payback for yesterday.
Yesterday, we were ahead the whole time. Yep, interception and Stephenville with the first big play of the game. This is very reminiscent when they last won state against Austin LBJ. I think it was the 3rd or 4th play. They created a turnover and took off from there. That's Kilgore's quarterback's only his 6th turnover of the interception of the year.
Well, I think that's one of those that he predetermined where he was going with that ball. I mean, he didn't really look it off. He didn't go for a second level or a second look. He went straight to that. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Makes it easy for the defense. Now, Kilgore's defense, though, on the flip side, they've been pretty good, like I said earlier. Let's see how they do on this first drive for Stephenville.
They haven't played an offense like this, though, since Carthage in week 1.
That Stephenville running back, he's a house.
Yep.
Is that a 21-10 score? I can't remember.
Something like that.
Okay. So at least it wasn't a blowout.
A move in from Argyle.
That's right.
Did Marshall used to have stickers on the helmet?
No.
No? Okay. So I went to Urban MacArthur, and they did. And I don't know. I typically like a clean helmet. So part of me liked getting the sticker because I did something,
Yeah.
But part of me is like, I kind of like just seeing the helmet nice and clean.
I don't mind the stickers if you uniform them, but when you have the players put them where they want, it gets to look really, really weird.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think if Stephenville comes out and kind of smacks them in the mouth early, it'll be interesting to see how Kilgore responds to that.
Because that's kind of what happened last year.
With Salina, yeah.
And it was a little bit later in the game, but by the second quarter, you kind of realized that unless Salina started turning the ball over, that they were in trouble. Kilgore was, and that's exactly what happened. And now, and to be fair to Salina, Stephenville beat a Salina team with Bo Bentley very banged up. He basically had concussions back-to-back weeks, and then even in the Stephenville game had a lower body injury. And I'm not saying that they didn't deserve to win, but you got a Salina team, and I still think everything surrounding Salina right now with the I still think that at the end of the day was a lot bigger of an impact than what people want to admit.
I think it was a huge impact.
Stephenville stacking it too. 9:35 left here in the first quarter. They intercepted Kilgore for the first big play of the game.
Good pass attempt deep, kind of there by Stephenville, but
good coverage too.
Yeah, great coverage, and good job backing off. When he realizes where he's at, he's like, "All right, let's just let this play happen."
Man, Wall, you want to talk about there for a moment when Wall had that huge pass interference on like 3rd and 18, and man, if you just don't let them catch the ball and tackle them, you're assured to win the game. Now, of course, they ended up winning, but man, Newton made it crazy at the end of that one. Big 3rd down and 2 here. And a first down.
What year is McClendon? Is he a junior or senior? That running back.
I don't know, actually. Let me look.
Stephenville winning the line of scrimmage early on. That usually leads to team success at all levels still.
Let's see here. He is a junior.
Man, he's a house.
Dude, what is it with all the 35-year-old looking football players?
Right?
It's reached that age where everybody, it's just where Grandview had a quarterback, Noe, that we joked that after the game he had to go work 12 hours at the sawmill because he already looked like he was smoking a pack a day.
Did you talk about it on the Discord channel? I thought I saw something along the line.
I mean, he just looked old.
So when I saw this offensive formation, I immediately thought screen pass because the wide receivers were lined up behind each other.
Yeah, and that's one of Stephenville's big things. That's kind of, even as they have had different coaches, the wide receiver screen and whatever you want to, the one-on-ones is a big part of their offense.
Okay.
That was a big defensive stop right there.
I see a lot of bleached blonde Stephenville players.
Yeah, they do the South Lake Carroll tradition of bleaching their hair at the playoffs.
Okay.
I would not have had fun with that as a kid. So,
Chris, do you really think that in the 80s and 90s in Marshall, if we'd have rolled out bleached blonde hair, what would have happened to us? We'd have been excommunicated from churches. And
And Coach Parker.
Oh, God. You realize how many bear crawls he'd had made of this dude? I always joke with my wife because she's from Plano. And she'll say, well, this when I was a kid, I'm like, yeah, we didn't do that in Marshall in the 80s and 90s, man. It's just not what you did.
No.
3rd down and 10 now. Kilgore needs to make a stop here. Boy, he has a cannon of an arm, but he overthrew it. And you see that in almost every game. The quarterback's very, very full of adrenaline, trying to make the big play early.
They're going to go for this.
Yeah, I figured they would.
I like the call.
I mean, you're in no man's land. What's the point of
You are. The most you gain is maybe 15 yards, right, with a punt. Oh.
Use your word, Terry. No man's land.
Yep.
Kilgore's defense.
Pressure.
Oh.
Don't face mask. Okay, good.
I know. I saw it too. I'm like, oh, don't face mask.
Hang on, I'm gonna real quick. Let's see if I can reload. I realized last night when I reloaded, sometimes we would sync up.
Yeah, I did. I've got it casted to my Roku, so I just did a little quick fast forward. It actually worked. So that's what got me to live.
You can, you can just get the app on Roku too.
Yeah, but that's the one that's so far behind. That was a good 15 to 20 seconds. I tested both this morning with the timer up to see how far behind the Roku app is, and it's about 15 seconds behind. So.
I don't know if we're going to get that dude in chat telling us we didn't talk enough about the football game that you could watch on TV.
Yeah, we had a conversation about the Roku because I have a Roku as well, and you and I watch Red Zone on Sunday, and I timed it, and I'm exactly 90 seconds behind you.
Oh wow.
So he'll mention an interception or a big play, and I'm like, wait, what? What are you talking about? I haven't even
Quit spoiling the game for me.
Yeah.
Oh no. There was a time when he was ahead during the Cowboy games, and he would do the same when I would tell him, and then he would just keep doing it on purpose.
I don't recall
He
that.
would say stuff like, "Oh, you're gonna love this play, or you're gonna hate this play."
I don't remember. I don't remember that at all.
So we got a commercial now.
Yep.
I love the Victory app. They started it for the Stars. Now the Rangers are on. I see a day when the Mavericks will move on there. And again, finally providing the high school broadcast completely free, I think is awesome.
Yeah, so this is the first year they've done that, right? Because it's always NFHS before.
Well, it was Fox Sports, and then when Fox
Yeah, I guess it was Fox
collapsed, and then they had that other. I can't think of it. What was the name of the streaming for a little bit for the Rangers and stuff? I can't remember the name of it. And of course, they went famously bankrupt, and almost, Texas Rangers during their World Series year had terrible. Like most people couldn't even watch them. And then finally, the Stars created the Victory app. They brought the Rangers on, and now we've got the high school stuff. And eventually this will all probably cost, because the Rangers does cost it, but it's $100 a year. I mean, you break that down, like my parents watch every Ranger game. They're getting their money's worth out of that.
Yeah.
There's Canadians look right there.
There's Canadian.
Nice. That's nice.
That's West Orange Start. Looks like kind of like Seattle last night.
Yeah, I like that. No, that was a good Seattle look. I always crap on them because they don't do their original look.
But yeah, I agree. I watched the highlights. That was a great game, by the way. Wow.
That was insane. Both 2-point conversions. Insane.
Seattle, man, losing to Phillip Rivers in 1 week and looking terrible, and then beating what a lot of people feel is the NFC favorite.
They technically won that game, but it did feel like they lost.
Well, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean.
He almost wanted to give Indianapolis that win.
They just looked terrible offensively in that game.
I like this little stat right here on the defenses for
Kilgore, 35 takeaways.
Amazing. Wow.
But look at Stephenville, 43 sacks.
I wish they had another line for like pressures, because Terry and I talk about it a lot. Sacks are great, but pressures are what you really want from your defense. Consistent pressure, living in that.
Because you're forcing them to do something they don't want to do too quickly.
Redirect the throw. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no. Another turnover for Stephenville.
Let's see if he was down.
They're going to review that one. I think he's down. Yeah, I think he's down. They can review that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think, because I think he hit the ground and then it popped.
That's an older guy with a mustache and a mohawk.
Mullet.
Let's see.
Yeah, he's down. He's down.
Oh.
We have to look at it from the other angle, though. Hold on.
Yeah, let me see the other angle, because here it is.
Oh, that's a fumble.
It is a fumble. Shoot.
Hand does not count. Has to be the wrist or elbow.
I was watching that back knee, too, but the back knee didn't go down yet.
Further review. Definitely from the South. Further.
Man, not expecting Kilgore's quarterback to have 2 turnovers in basically 2 plays.
Well, I don't think he's played a defense like Stephenville's all season.
Carthage.
Oh, sorry, Carthage, yeah. Let's see. Okay, this is the angle I was looking for. Okay. Oh, yeah, fumble.
I don't think there's enough evidence to overturn it, even if he didn't fumble, because that knee, you really can't see when it touches.
Well, but you know when he fumbled from the other angle, so you could.
Yeah, you can. You can see right here that knee's not down and the ball's already moving. See it?
Man.
Watch for the stripe underneath his belly. You can see that stripe pop on the ball, and his knee's not down. I think y'all are a tad ahead of me now, so.
Okay.
Not by much. Just a couple of seconds.
I like how the little kid also has the bleached blonde hair.
Oh, on the bench with him, yeah. That was the right call. Man, 2 turnovers.
Let's see if Stephenville can take advantage of it.
Well, and from a coaching perspective, you got to get in his ear and saying, live another day. You're going to have a chance at this again.
Problem is, you've already done that the first time. And that's what Kilgore does right there so well. They tackle well in space.
Yep.
It's a mark of a solid defense. I always get annoyed with defenses that have corner or really secondary players that can't make that tackle.
Yeah.
They usually try to have that lights out tackle, not.
What is the deal with Greg Tepper trying to have the sexy pick? Greg's a good dude, but man, we ain't on GQ, brother. So, intern Noe the Pro, you probably don't know. Do you know how Kilgore won their one state championship back in 2004?
I do not.
They blocked a field goal in overtime against Lincoln and returned it.
Oh, wow.
That's the same year Marshall lost to Ennis by 2 points. Two teams from the same district played in the state championship game.
That was it Graham Harrell? Who was the quarterback for Ennis back then?
It wasn't Graham at that time. It was Zach Carroll, who now coaches at Athens.
Oh, okay.
They actually were a better running team that year.
Size-wise, offensively for Stephenville versus Kilgore's defense, they're quite a bit bigger.
Yeah, Stephenville's always got the big boys. Kilgore's
Man.
more of that
Great play.
That East Texas athleticism that we see. Now Carthage, of course, is big, but Kilgore's always been a lot like Marshall, more speed and athleticism than true size.
I love that swarm defense. I always like seeing 7 or 8 players around the ball at once. That's great.
I think Coach Doty even bleached his hair.
Yep.
He's a great.
Yep, he did.
He is.
I like that.
He is one of the fun dudes to talk to when we go to a Stephenville game. So here we go. 4th down and 2. Power set. Look at the two fullbacks. Number 70. And then 44 getting in the old school track stance.
Look at that. What is that?
Like number 60 just showing that belly. No care in the world. Okay. That guy with the beard.
Okay, if you're going to bleach the hair, you got to bleach the beard, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Darth Vader. I love that name.
Darth Vader. So are their helmets blue or are their helmets black?
They're blue.
Yeah.
Wow, it is like a deep blue, isn't it?
Yeah. To do a pro football reference, the New York Giants, that deep blue helmet they have.
Now I can see it.
Arlington Lamar, same kind of blue. This blue and yellow is one of my favorite football combinations.
I like it. No, that's good.
There's the game-winning field goal from DeVivo. Now, Salina had tried one with 45 seconds left, missed it, and Stephenville had 2 big plays that got them across the 50, and then they won it with that field goal. Whoa!
Okay, I love this.
Where were they playing that game at?
Oh man, Midlothian.
Oh, okay.
Hang on.
That is one thing I really like about having all the games in one place. There's a lot of people go back and forth on it, but it is a great experience to go to.
Oh, the only 4th down and 2.
There was that gap was shut, but he might have gotten the first down.
Terrible camera angle right there on 4th and 2. Give us the shot at the line so we can see. But yeah, it's a first down. The only negative that I have about it, and it really hasn't happened this year because the games have ended on time, is sometimes it's like, okay, you won. Here's your medal. Get off the field. Go, 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 go. And talking to coaches that have won it, that have had that, that's one of the only things that can be kind of annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like what they've done with the volleyball. Volleyball used to be the Final Four.
Yeah.
Was there in Garland, and now they've changed that.
It's in San Antonio, isn't it?
Well, no, it's only the finals.
Oh yeah, they did that in baseball and basketball too. I think you don't
Yep.
have regional finals in basketball. Well, baseball you never had the regional finals like that, but basketball to me, you know, that when I was calling basketball, that was one of the fun things. Like for East Texas Region 2, it was at A&M Commerce, and you'd go for the 3As and the 4As, and you started on Friday night, sometimes even Thursday night, and you just played basketball for 3 days, and it was kind of, you know, I think that was a mistake.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people complaining about not being able to go to Garland and Colwell Center and have that experience that
That's
you
a great
typically get.
underrated place, by the way. That's where AEW goes a lot. Right down the road from the studio on 30. I mean, on George Bush, when you hit Garland, is that big arena right there?
Yeah.
That's where AEW will go instead. They don't try to go to like, you know, AT&T or down in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
The other thing that drives me crazy is some of these UIL rules. I hate that it ought to be across the board. If you win your district, you get to host your game, your first playoff game.
I think we're going to get to there. I think,
Oh,
you know, they're already doing that in 6A and 5A. I think
right.
we'll eventually
That's
get
what I'm saying. I don't know why they do that all the time when they make those rules for 5A, 6A. I
Well,
get
that's
it.
big run here, Trot Jordan. I think that's the testing ground. Now, in saying that, Marshall has not had the most success at home in the playoff games. Man, who would have thought that Huntsville would be a team that just sticks in Marshall's crawl the last 10 years? It's crazy because famously Marshall played them back-to-back years in 88 and 89 and beat them.
Yep. Killed them.
But since then, Rodney Southern, the former Marshall coach, went down to Huntsville, became a power, beat Marshall in that famous region final where there was a possible pass interference on the 2-point conversion. But man, it's crazy how Marshall has struggled against them. And as we were talking about last night, Marshall was 100 students away from dropping to 4A. But I don't know what's better. I mean, the 5A Division II region's stacked, but if you're in East Texas and you're Marshall and you drop down, you're getting Kilgore, you're getting Chapel Hill, you're getting Lindale. I mean, it's just as tough as that 5A Division II district that's kind of weak.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. You know, I think some of the best football in Texas is played in that 3A, 4A their area for sure.
Let me get rid of this ad. The one thing about the UIO stats, they have those pop-ups. I mean, this team, you know, outside the 2 turnovers, the total yards are almost even. Kilgore with 41 and Stephenville with 37. 3:42 left scoreless first quarter.
Oh, I don't have the stats up. What's the time of possession, though? It's over the top for Stephenville.
Oh, it has to be over the top.
Huh. Actually, it might not be updated. Right now, they say it's 2 minutes and 56 seconds for them, 1:49 for Kilgore.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's like 3 minutes left in the first quarter, so that's definitely behind. I think Stephenville's probably had the ball for about 7 minutes. So
That's what it feels like. I mean, Kilgore had it for 4 plays and then 1 play, so it has to be.
Yeah. You know, Clendon kind of runs. I'm gonna make a pro reference. Prime Le'Veon Bell, where he's very patient to the line of scrimmage.
And that sometimes is great, and that sometimes can kill you just like that, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you want to just attack the open area, the hole, and but yeah, it seems like he's pretty patient.
My boy Le'Veon better have a game tomorrow.
So, what are y'all's predictions on the first round of the college football playoffs?
Well,
I think A&M wins a close one, but I think they match up well. As long as the right A&M team decides to show up and play. The one that played right after halftime against LSU, the one that played right after halftime against South Carolina, that's the A&M team I need to show up.
That's crazy for an 11-1 team. We have to ask ourselves, okay, which version of this team is going to show up? Yeah, I think A&M will beat Miami. It'll be It'll be a great uniform game. I feel, but
yeah, Aggies are doing the black uniform.
Are they doing the black? Did
Yeah,
they
they're all
decide?
black.
Oh, that's my favorite.
All right, we're going to have a field goal attempt again. He kicked the game winner last week.
That's a miss.
He missed it. So Kilgore once again turns the ball over, but keeps Stephenville off the scoreboard. Man, that is huge. Now, it might end up being where it doesn't matter, but if you're Kilgore or if you're Stephenville, you start going, wow, we've now been on their side of the field twice and we've had no points.
The entire game's been played on Kilgore's side of the field.
Yep, basically.
Yeah, at some point, the mental aspect has to play a factor here where Stephenville's like, okay, we got 2 turnovers. We've been in Kilgore's territory this whole game, and we have no points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think A&M is going to win. Going back to your question about college football, I think Oklahoma, Alabama. I think Alabama's going to go and win. I really feel that they're going to win that game. Oklahoma, I'm just not.
I agree.
Well, I mean, Alabama hasn't been able to beat Oklahoma in 2 years.
Yeah, that's true. And Oklahoma last year was really bad, and Alabama they missed out on the playoffs because of that game. But I think Alabama avenges that and wins. And I think the other ones like Oregon's gonna win, Ole Miss will win because they're playing with James Madison and Tulane respectively. So
yeah,
who's playing Tulane though? Is it Ole Miss?
Yes, Ole Miss is playing Tulane.
Win that game.
Whoa,
dude! Ole Miss is
just because they don't have Lane Kiffin.
Well, that and also Tulane's a really solid team. But yeah, man, it's not just because they don't have Lane Kiffin; it's how everything's went down.
Yeah, I think that's an upset in the making. I mean, I don't know if I'm bold enough to say they're going to do it, but I think if any game's going to be an upset in the playoffs right now, that's going to be it.
It wouldn't even shock me if that's a 14 to 17 point game. I could see Ole Miss if Tulane starts hot. Ole Miss just being like, "We're out, we're done, screw this."
Yeah, because I think offensively, Ole Miss is in trouble. You know, you don't have the one thing like Lane Kiffin or don't like Lane Kiffin, which I'm not a huge fan of, but offensively, he could coach them through any of that. Without that, I think they're going to be in trouble.
Well, and you're not talking just about schemes because they're going to still do the same scheme, but it's that play calling, and that he is wonderful at play calling, knowing when to do what you need to do, when to strike, when to pull back, and I just think all that. I mean, you heard all the reports once it come out that he was leaving, how the players reacted and all. I would be very shocked. Maybe they do they use that. It's us against the world. We'll never know, but. I'm more all curious about where Texas Tech ends up in all this because I love that they're there. But when I looked at the All-American, here it is. They're showing the Lincoln versus Kilgore. Here we go.
Man.
Nick, the famous Nick Sanders, such a phenomenal athlete for Kilgore back then. Man, that 04 year with them and that whole district was just a battle. Like even like the last place team you were beating, but it was like 21 to 17. We won't talk about the next year at Marshall and Highland Park. That never happened. The UIL deemed that illegal.
Not the same year they had Matthew Stafford and
59 to
Clayton Kershaw on the same team.
Yeah, Marshall should have never been there. Marshall had a great running back, Jackie Robinson. That's his real name. But the region had it's funny because they played almost the exact same teams they played the year before in their run, but the region had gotten so much weaker, and Marshall should not have been there. They pulled off an upset of Bernie in the state semifinal. But anyway, going back to when I saw the All-American list and first team and Texas Tech's got 2 guys there and 2 on the second team on defense, and I'm like, it's the Big 12, and I like the Big 12, but man, I just feel like Texas Tech has somehow gotten completely overrated.
Time will tell. Have you watched them at all this year much?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love them. I hate saying all that because I love what they're doing. I have Joey McGuire, one of my favorite coaches when I used to deal with him when he was at Cedar Hill. I like how they're paying players and they stepped up and they have a T. Boone Pickens type of guy for them now. But I just don't feel like, again, they have not played offenses that they're going to see in the playoffs, in my opinion.
That is true.
Because won't they get Oregon if Oregon wins?
Now, they'll get the best wild card team essentially. So I think that would be our at-large team, I guess.
That's right. They reseed, don't they?
Yeah,
I love that.
So whoever the seed is, it should be Oregon. Yeah, because I think Ole Miss is 6. Yeah, so that makes sense. Let's see what they do in the quarterfinals because. You're very valid in your point. Like Texas Tech hasn't played an offense like they will see when they play in the playoffs. So let's see how they do. They destroyed BYU because of turnovers in both games. and they destroyed Utah. Basically, similar reasons, but their starting quarterback was hurt.
Yeah.
So Kilgore's
Yeah,
on offense. They have to punt.
Yeah, good defense again by Kilgore. And by Stephenville. Kilgore's a little rattled right now. They can't get any momentum going. They can't get anything kind of moving.
I mean, it's a repeat of the Salina game of last year. Now, this for the first time, they're going to get Stephenville deep on Stephenville's side of the field.
1 quarter ends 0-0.
1 quarter down 0-0. So, like I tried to explain to Chris, this will be a low-scoring game. You're stupid saying it's going to be a high score. We're going to take a quick break right here on the Watch Party.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easy to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. And the concussions I've got, I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
Hey, Coach, are you ready to elevate your locker room experience? Well, at H&H Locker Solutions, we pride ourselves on delivering the highest quality lockers at the lowest cost in the Southeast. As a coach-owned business based in Alabama, we understand the needs of the coaches and the players alike. Our mission is to improve your locker room and streamline your process, and we're coming to Texas. Did you know we offer a free locker program? That's right. We ship all across the USA, ensuring you get the best solutions tailored just for you and your program. Want to learn more? Drop a comment or give Coach Harris, a.k.a. Ty, a call at 256-458-4427, and let's take your locker room to the next level.
That team.
All right, we are back here as we're talking Dallas Stars hockey in the break. Actually, I'm wearing my Winter Classic hat, actually. Oh, did you see where I didn't even realize this already? AT&T is getting a Stadium Series game next year.
I thought it was 2027.
Is it 2027?
Yeah.
Well, I guess technically that could still be next season.
Yeah. Technically, yeah, it is next season, yeah.
See? Yeah. God, you're stupid, man. Sorry, Chris. I didn't mean to bring him on. My bad. So,
Hey, speaking of the Aggies, did you see volleyball? They're in the championship with Kentucky. So.
Yeah, Texas got not really upset by Wisconsin, but got beat by Wisconsin. What a run Texas has had over the last 8 years in volleyball, and now A&M is starting to match that. I'm one of those as a Texas fan. I know some Texas fans always tried to act like it wasn't a big deal. I love that their rivalry's back, and I love Texas and Arkansas back. Arkansas growing, and you know this, Chris, growing up in East Texas, you had a ton of Arkansas fans.
Well, for sure.
One of Marshall's well-known, Ronnie Hammers, was on the 1969 Arkansas Razorback team that lost in that what they called the game of the century. So I grew up around Arkansas fans, A&M fans, so I love that rivalry's back on.
I worked with a guy here in Amarillo that he was the manager for that team that Ronnie Hammers was on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is, dude, again, small world. Of course, I grew up with his son, Blake. We played sports together and everything. Ronnie passed away a couple years ago. He was one of my all-star coaches one year, and I would love. We'd be sitting there just in practice and talking, and and I was young, and I had a book about that game, and my dad had pointed out that Ronnie had played on there, and I always thought that was so cool. But every once in a while, I'd just be like, "Now, who won that game again? Ronnie? I forgot." I always had to run more miles than anybody else. I don't understand why. So Stephenville gets the first down here as the first play of the second quarter. It's 0-0, but I think we all agree. I think Stephenville's outplayed Kilgore for the most part.
Yeah, they've been living in that back. They've been living in Kilgore's area this whole half. And I think they kind of found something on that right side of the line too.
Isn't Trotted their quarterback a junior as well? They had actually came into the year with a couple of quarterbacks in play, another move in as well, and then Trot kind of settled into the position. God, that offensive line is like
Stephenville, yeah. Big boy.
Yeah, but when your running back's almost as big as your offensive line.
That's a good point.
He's a house, man. I'll never forget when my son went to Eastern New Mexico, was playing linebacker. The first game I saw him in a preseason game. And he goes and he hits the running back, and they get up. And I'm like, crap, the running back's as big as my son is. That's the first time I've ever seen that happen. He's going to get a first down.
Yeah, he's dragging the players.
Yeah, that was the biggest shock because my son always was the bigger one on the field, at least most of the time. I mean, he's almost 6'2", played at about 225 or so, and goes to college. In that first game, he didn't tell us what number he had. So we're looking across the sidelines, and I'm like, where is he? And then I finally find him. I go, he looks like a cornerback compared to everybody else. 2 years later, though, they put him, he was up to 255.
Oh, okay. That off-season program helps.
Man.
And we're talking about it in Eastern New Mexico, a team that was, in the, I guess at that time they were in the LSC, right? The Lone Star Conference with A&M Commerce and West Texas and all them. I mean, that's great football, but that's not, as Division I football.
No.
And Grant and I, so every Thanksgiving, we do this big trip and we'll go see a couple, 3A and 4As. And then we always like to go pick one 6A game and we'll get media passes. And part of the reason is we just want to be on the sideline to remind ourselves of how big the 6A football players are. And in saying that, 4A, especially 4As, you've got some big boys, but 6A, I mean, those are basically SEC, Big 12 style size guys already.
The difference is you've got a few big boys on those small, on the 4A and down. The entire offensive line is D1 size for the 6As.
Well, that's like for Brock, the Eagles, one of their best players whose name was Brock Riker. I mean, he was at the 3A and 4A because he was in that transition year. He is 6'3", 285 pounds, just a big man. He is a starting center for Texas State. And on that offensive line, kind of like your son, he is the smallest guy by 20 pounds and 3 or 4 inches. Now, in saying that, Texas State did have one of the biggest offensive lines in all of college football. But it just blows my mind after seeing him against the Gunners and the Lorenas and then going and watching Texas State, and he's the littlest guy on the field.
Yeah, it's crazy to see.
Yeah, typically it's okay for the center to be the smallest because you want them to be very active and athletic. So 6'3", 285 is kind of a really good size for a center, but dang.
Oh, he has a chance to play on Sundays. Oh, what a big play on 4th and 7. First, it feels like this game might turn into, a death by 1,000 cuts. Because Stephenville's starting to wear them down.
They might not have
Kilgore's going to need a turnover here.
I agree.
Yeah. They might not get a lot of big plays, but yeah, if you can methodically move the ball down the field, then I think that'll be the team that's going to win this game because these defenses are pretty legit.
Yeah.
Look at this guy with the mouth guard in his mouth.
Oh, that's one of Noe's pet peeves of players putting their mouth guards in their helmets to the side and having 2 or 3 mouth guards but not wearing them.
Yeah, I gotta.
By the way, every Stephenville player is wearing their mouth guard.
I love it.
Yeah, they
That's
are.
a coach team right there.
Oh, I love the It Clown back pad for that.
That's
Kilgore
pretty
player.
funny.
That is pretty sweet looking.
Have y'all watched Welcome to Derry?
No.
It's really good. It is really good. I highly recommend it.
We're going to try it out again. Football season, we had a long list of shows, but I never got into the It franchise totally. I like the book. Well, until they basically the weird stuff at the end in the book that they don't show in the movies. Where anyway, I don't talk about it. Just go read up on the ending if you want to know.
Yeah, I like both movies that came out recently, and then I just got on a whim convinced to watch the prequel on HBO.
God darn it, I didn't sign on here to watch you watch football and talk movies. I need to talk more football. Tell me about that one technique. I think next year we got to do what Chris does, and Kenny did it with Central Texas. Man, they put their studio with a reclining chair, and they're all comfortable. You and I are sitting in the office chairs.
Yeah,
of course.
That's okay though.
Grant broke the camping chair, so we had to move it.
Yeah. Behind the screen, we can see the Outdrink the Coverage logo.
I think, Chris, you just need to start flying in and doing sideline to sideline with me. We'll just tell Grant we're not having a show that week.
We just have to plan it accordingly. You know, since I work down there, I do come down, so we just have to plan accordingly.
Oh yeah, I'd love to have you in the studio at some point. Yeah, I was explaining to Noe how you work. You work for the Federal Reserve, right?
Yeah.
And you fly in on your own in your own plane.
No, not yet. Someday. That actually is a goal. I'm not kidding. So I keep telling my wife I'm going to get my pilot's license, but I tell you what, age is starting to tick on me a little bit. So
I'm not a flyer. It's funny you say that though, because Gunter's Ethan Sloan, one of the great players of time, he's actually working to get his pilot's license. His late brother had a pilot's license, and so he's trying to do the same thing. Oh, they call this a fumble?
Oh, the turnover you were talking about.
Oh, there it is.
Let's see.
We're going to see if that comes back, though.
Let's see. Hey, he put that coach out on the field. He just forearmed his player 5 yards.
Oh, no, that's a fumble.
That's a fumble.
Nope, that's a fumble. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, look what I found.
Wow, what? Great call, Chris. You said it. They needed to get a turnover, and they got a huge turnover.
Yeah, because Stephenville was just shoving it right down their throat.
Zyler's mad because he's got to go work at the sawmill tonight. That dude is just like.
He did have some blonde in his dreads though. So
Yep.
There you go.
All right, we're gonna do a close.
He's like, I ain't taking my whole head white. Yeah, it's blonde.
It has to be.
Yeah, there it is. It's out right there. You can see it bouncing. Wow.
Has to be clearly obvious.
And it's not this play because they weren't held up enough. But one of the other runs earlier, one of the things I wish all levels of football would get back to is stop letting scrums just go on for 30 seconds when it's obvious the play's kind of ended and they just let them keep pushing and let them keep pushing. I think we need to get back to the era where you couldn't aid a runner by pushing him forward or just moving the pile slowly forward.
Like a tush push.
Yeah, I mean, but that's exactly right, the tush push. And I'm not against the tush push in of itself if you can't stop it, but it's just in general. You've seen so many plays. Here we go. Okay.
Play action, deep pass, first play.
I'm always.
Yeah, I would too. Go for it.
You know me. No, I'm always. When you get a big turnover, I always believe you go for a dagger play immediately.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, 100%. You've got the momentum. You've got them excited.
Yes, sir.
You got the other teams down a little bit, right? They just turn the ball over. Go for it.
Yeah, but look at Stephenville playing that cover shell. Bracketed. They've got bracketed on both sides. Both safeties are going to bail, I bet. Yep.
They're leaving that middle open right
They
now.
are.
Honestly.
You got 3-4 yards.
They're not going to do it.
That's one of the things, like at all high school levels. I mean, you'll have teams like Brock, who always seems to have a good tight end, but we need more tight end play at the high school level, in my opinion.
When Bushland played Brock in that overtime playoff game, if we would have thrown to the tight end, and we had one, we had a kid he's like 6'2", 6'3", never threw to him. If we throw to him, we win that ball game, 100%. And Bushland's really bad about not throwing over the middle anyway. They love to throw those sidelines. Man, that would have won the game that day.
And it's funny you say that because Brock, of course, Brock has had a couple tight ends go into D1, Baylor Cup being the famous one. I was at the game when Texas Tech came back against Texas a couple years ago in Lubbock, and Baylor Cup was the main reason. But Brock famously beat Mount Vernon, I think it was Mount Vernon, by doing the tight end snap the ball with the way the alignment was. He was also eligible, and they ended up winning the game on that gutsy call. But Brock's one of those that's always had a great tight end. Tight ends, to me, are just so underrated in the passing game.
Well, you run this spread offense so much, they just don't go to them, right?
Mm-hmm. So 3rd and 6 for Kilgore is they have just not been able to put anything together offensively consistently. Of course, 2 turnovers.
Sorry. I was going to say the second quarter's been running kind of fast. It's about 5 minutes left in the half.
Nobody's throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on the game, Stephenville's thrown it 9 times for 27 yards. Kilgore's thrown it 3 times for 3 yards and the interception. Stephenville has 103 total yards. Kilgore only 40. Now we're starting to see that time of possession. Kilgore has only held the ball for 3 minutes. Stephenville 13 minutes.
Yeah, so you got a fresh defense out there, and you got a fresh offense. But I think the fresh defense matters more than that fresh offense because you got a frustrated offense right now.
I totally agree with you there. Wow.
Okay, kids.
Oh, yeah, Stephenville, man, they're one of the teams infamously with the cans and the shakers. And, I'll just put it this way. When we're at a game and if we're on the sideline at Stephenville, we're usually on the other sideline because you're going to get a headache. By the way, famously, though, when Marshall lost to Highland Park beat Stephenville in a classic state semifinal. And what was his name? The quarterback who went to Javon Sneed, who passed away. He was the quarterback, and him and Matthew Stafford had a classic. It was like 48-42 type of game in the state semifinals. And, yes, Stephenville would have beat Marshall just as bad that year. That's one of the years I just kind of wish Marshall would have got beat in the semifinals and we could have moved on.
Great conversion by Kilgore.
Patrick on our Discord says, what's the deal with the coaches' shirts for Stephenville coaching? They remind me of the beer delivery drivers. It's those fly fishing shirts. That's a big thing. That's not just Stephenville. That's coaching all across. That's become a real big thing. In fact, I actually wear one on when we go on the road on L4 Media, but it's what we call those fly fishing shirts that you see all down in Corpus.
Okay. This is the furthest Kilgore's been.
Yeah, Kilgore's knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that beautiful setup on the screen. Oh,
positive yardage.
Mouthpieces are flying.
That's because they're not connected. They're not using them.
I got a flag.
I wish all levels of football instituted a rule where they were required to have thigh pads, knee pads, maybe not knee pads, but like hip pads. There should be some semblance, and everybody has to have a mouth guard. If there's any,
it used to be that way, right? So
you and I have talked about this on our pro show. We've talked about it, just hanging out. One of the reasons you have so many more concussions and such now is because these guys have lighter gear and they're faster.
Yeah.
Put more weight, put the full pads on them. That slows them down. Or like Troy Aikman says, take the helmets away. You take the helmets away, nobody's going to lead with their head.
Yeah.
And we've been seeing it the high
Oh,
school.
wow.
Wow. Whoa.
Oh, whoa.
I agree with Tepper. He was trying to punch the ball, but you gotta realize, and I think that might be something that gets legislated in the NFL? Because you've seen multiple times where a guy's trying to punch a ball and he gets the guy in the arm, and all it'll take is somebody breaking their arm like that, and you'll see that legislated, the old peanut knock.
Holding. Clear holding.
Yeah, there's the flag. And I'm glad that, was it Charles Tillman Peanut gets credit for that, but linebacker Derek Johnson for Texas, that's what he was very well known for, coming up behind a running back and punching the ball out, whether at Texas or at Kansas City, where he had a great career.
Yeah.
Oh, Fuller is not happy with that call.
I mean, it was clear.
Oh, it was clear. That was bad. That left tackle just completely mugged him. There's no explanation needed.
You can't call that? Well, I ain't going to say that.
One, the lineman held him. Two, the Stephenville guy did a good job of what you're taught. Put your arms up like you're getting held. Just a signal to the ref, hey, look at what's going on over here. Clearly being held. Keep your arm up. There you go. What are you complaining? I want to know what's in their head.
I do no wrong. I have a couple exes that felt that way. Oh, I like 78 right there getting angry, though, whether he's right or wrong. I like him getting angry.
He's a big old boy.
Kilgore's offensive line is pretty big, too.
I like this guy's name. Butchie.
One of my twins played center. He's 5'9", about 180. And we'd watch him go up against some of these nose guards, some of those defensive tackles. And my wife would be like, he's going to get hurt. And I was like, he's fine. And it was just, he was so technique driven. And it just goes to show you, for a center, if you got great technique, you don't have to have the size.
Yep.
Exactly.
They faked the toss. That was a weird play call right there.
Yeah.
When I coached at Garland Christian, we had a nose guard that was 5'3" and 120 pounds soaking wet. But he was so good about shooting those gaps. I mean, if he got off the ball at the right time, it didn't matter how big you were you weren't going to catch him, because he was going to get through into the A gaps, and he'd live there. Now, in saying that, our defense gave up like 45 points a game, so I'm not.
Leverage is key, because I played left tackle in high school, and I was 5'10", and I was lucky because like a lot of the guys I played against were 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". So it was easier for me to get leverage. But I mean, if you have good technique and you swing the hips, hook them.
It's all in the hips.
It's all in the hips.
It's all in the hips.
And Mark Claret famously said that he could have played the game without pads, just because of technique.
Well, and then how much film do you watch? That's one thing my son was really good about, was watching film, because he's looking for those tendencies, looking for those reads.
It's funny you bring that up, because a guy who I think would have been a Hall of Famer if he doesn't get sick, Travis Frederick, was on a podcast today, and he didn't watch film.
Interesting.
I mean,
Really?
he said I would watch the basics, but he goes, for him, he felt that it over-prepared him to where you're starting to look for tendencies and then not paying attention to what was happening. And I love the fact that, good coaches understand that not everybody is the same way. And, of course, when you're a couple all-time pros, you kind of get to do, what you want. But I was so fascinated about it. I'll send you all the thing. I was fascinated by him saying, I watched a little bit, but I didn't need to watch film. I just needed to do what I do best, and I'll figure it out. That kind of blew my mind.
Well, my son that played at Eastern New Mexico, he didn't watch a lot of film. He watched some just to kind of understand and get formation so that he could get himself in the right position. But he didn't watch, like I said, the one that played center, he'd walk around the house with his phone constantly watching huddle film the whole time, whereas the one that played at college, he didn't. He was just like, I watch enough to know. And he goes, I need to use instinct. And that's what he was really kind of honing in, to watch those tendencies.
Well, when we all played, you were given whatever the coaches wanted you to see.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't have huddle back then where you could just go watch it all.
And so your coach was the gatekeeper. And one of the things, talking with all the coaches that we do the coaches shows with, and just talking with coaches in general, now it's like your son that was a center. All the guys have huddle. They all talk about it all week long. They're all working on it and everything. And I think that's fascinating. But also, let's understand kids that go into high school football today, if they play video games and they play Madden, they know more about football than we did at their age. I mean, even as much as I consumed football back then, I didn't have books on the 4-3 and all that. You go play a Madden game, like, man, I still play video games. I don't even play online because a pre-snap in Madden, you'll have a guy with a joystick make 72 different adjustments in 3 seconds. And I'm all like, I'm just going to toss sweep it and pray for the best. So that's why I don't play online anymore. But these kids know concepts. They know 4-3, 3-4. They know combo routes and all that. It amazes me how people always want to knock kids. But in my opinion, kids today are smarter football players.
Yeah, I would agree. And I tell you what, I still play as well. By the way, I have played every single version of Madden ever made.
Me too.
And I still play, right? And so my boys won't play me. Only one of my kids has ever beaten me, and he's only done that once in Madden. All the high school boys would show up over here. They had a break between their last class and practice all the time when they're growing up. And let's see this play.
Oh, wow. An interception.
Oh, in the
3
end zone.
turnovers now for Case and San. Wow, that's just
Gets in the
That's
water.
horrible.
Ran the wrong route.
Speaking of, man, in 90, my parents, the adopt-a Mav and everything, my parents would always have these cookouts on Sundays, and Kelvin James, Terrence Shaw, Tremaine Green, all them would come over, and we'd have Tecmo Bowl tournaments. And, man, we would wear out that Tecmo. I had to buy multiple versions of that game because we would wear them out so much on a Sunday.
Man, I played with Jeff and Brad all the time. You know both of them.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, Tecmo Bowl, blowing the
Yep.
get it to play. Yep.
I'm more of a I've played every Madden, but I'm still, especially now that college football's back, I'm more into the college. I just like to, like I say, I don't play online anymore. I just play offline. I'll create a school and just, play around with it. I usually have a couple going. I'll have the tough one, and then I'll have the one that I can just throw on, and I'll show Noe sometimes, like, my running back will have 10 carries, 500 yards, because I just, I want to blow some steam off. I don't want to have a challenge. So
Yeah, I play more college now that it's out, and I definitely enjoy it better. I'll play Madden every now and then just to change it, but college football is by far my favorite one. I hated it when NCAA went away. I'm like, really?
I did too, but I did like, what was it, 14. Now, I played that for 10 years and had such a blast on it. Do you play any other games or just sports?
Pretty well just sports. If I play any of those shooter games, my boys just annihilate me, no doubt. But I'll play some, but I'll do campaigns on some of those. I won't play online. They just get murdered.
I don't play like Call of Duty anymore. I play Siege. I play hockey. I love playing goalie. I do play online on hockey. I play goalie, and then I play college football. And then in the off season, I like to pick one of those big open world games that you just kind of take your time and play for 60 hours, and I'll just kind of tool around with that when I have a little bit more time.
That's not good. Their quarterback just left.
Yep.
Wrap up. Good job, Kilgore. Force the 3 and out.
That kid is a load, though.
Yeah.
I was looking to see if I could find if he's got any star ratings right now, and I couldn't find anything.
Let me see. I'd looked up his age, but I forgot to. 2-minute. What are your thoughts on the 2-minute warning in college and high school?
Other than it throwing me off the very first games, I didn't pay attention to the rules that changed this year. I kind of like it, to be honest. So
right now, he doesn't have any stars.
Interesting.
Okay, I'm going to call BS on this. He is listed as 6'1", 200.
There's no way. That kid's 220 at least.
I would go 230. I mean, that right thigh might be 180 on itself.
And he's bigger than 6'1" as well, I think.
You kind of wonder if this is a guy, if he makes it at the next level, is he going to end up playing defense? Because I don't think he's going to have the speed to be able to play. And again, you know that the difference in speed of an average football player at the college level, even for a great high school, is just completely different.
Yeah, he isn't as fast. He's just hard to bring down. He hits a hole pretty well, but I haven't seen any breakaway speed from him tonight. But as far as he plays the role very well of picking the hole and putting his head down and getting you 7-8 yards.
Another place has him listed at 210 pounds. I still think that's wrong. What will be scary is if he hasn't hit his last growth spurt.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make the case if he grows 2 more inches, you might be looking at a guy that could play guard.
I mean,
Well, depending on what his motor's like, he's a defensive end.
Oh yeah, that would be a really good spot for his size, especially.
Yep.
I mean, in today's football, you want undersized defensive end compared to where everybody else that can get off the edge.
Long arms. Yep.
He could play that outside backer spot depending on what his speed looks like. Even a middle linebacker, at his size, he might make a really good middle linebacker.
Yeah,
That's the thing that killed my son going to Eastern New Mexico. He got recruited because he's a between the tackles kind of middle linebacker. Old school. And then the linebacker coach left before he got there, and they changed the defense up. And he was so frustrated. They ended up putting him down on the defensive end spot, but he's only like 6'2". And it's like, Dad, he's killed. That's why they put so much weight on him. But it just goes to show he had his spot. He played it well. And then when that defense changed, he's like, crap.
Well, and that's why it annoys me. All these old school players shouldn't be able to transfer. Well, then coaches shouldn't be able to leave.
Yep.
Just let's do 4-year contracts for everybody, and you can't leave that contract.
Fair is fair.
Hey, that's why, Gunday, that was his big thing. He went on talking about how if you're going to play for me a year, then sign a contract. I'll give you a year. If you're going to play with me 3, then let's do a 3-year contract. But let's just be open and honest about it.
Yeah, but he couldn't adjust either.
No.
Whether you like it or not, you have got to adjust to whatever the game is if you're going to be successful. What? Oh, yeah, this is... We'll play that during the halftime.
Oh, that's for his dad?
Yeah. And they also have a guy, and I'll pull it up later. He would have been a senior. He was killed tragically a few years ago in a ATV accident, and they carry his picture around. And every time they've won the gold ball, they have his picture there with him. And I'll get his name because his mom actually messaged me on our sideline to sideline page a couple days or a week ago. So Steveville's gonna have to punt. Kilgore's quarterback is off the field though.
He's back.
Oh, he is back. Okay.
Yeah. They just don't show him throwing. So.
Oh, what a great punt! Hey, where did he go? There we go. We're back. Wait, what?
I think we're on a delay again.
I'm gonna predict that that's a punt. Carthage, West Orange, Stark. I mean, that's a game of, on paper, 2 blue bloods, 19 state championships combined. West Orange Stark still has the highest winning percentage of a program in history. Yet, if they stay within 4 touchdowns, everybody's going to be pretty surprised.
That's crazy. And it's one of the first, they've only met a couple of times, right?
This is the second time they met back in 2013. We were at that game. Grant and I, it was a region semifinal, I think.
That's hard to believe, though, isn't it, between those two programs?
Well, and especially because they've always been around each other's region, but it's just, West Orange Stark has kind of went through not a soft spot, but after Jack Dallas graduated, after they won back-to-back state championships in 14 and 15, I think it was, that was an era where Carthage wasn't down, but for those couple of years, it was Gilmer was the bigger team of the two. And if you're Kilgore, you got to feel just very happy it's 0-0 right now.
Yeah, 3 turnovers. They just can't. They can't push the ball down the field with passing at all.
By that, honestly.
I think they're trying the little quick screens, the toss outs here. They're gonna have to maybe get something over the middle, short, and that's fine. Some comeback routes. They've got to get him in a rhythm.
Yeah. Oh, nice spin move. Almost the first time.
Yeah, I feel bad for any kid that has a bad game in the spotlight, but especially Brooks, because this has not been his career at Kilgore.
Is he a senior?
I think so.
Well, luckily for him, though, I mean, Kilgore's defense has been holding up. Still 0-0. Clean slate, just like he entered the game. Clean slate.
Yeah, the defense has given you an opportunity to take this back.
Yeah, he's a senior.
Okay.
I saw that linebacker read that immediately.
And that's exactly what you were just talking about, Chris. That you keep just doing sideline and things like that. Your safeties are just going to start going downhill. You've got to, even if you throw it out of bounds, you've got to at least throw it down the field to make them respect that.
Got to pull them back, right? Because they're playing it all in the box right now. They're 8 yards in the box. They're not worried about it. They're daring you to do something. You've thrown it down a couple of times and it's been picked off both times. So their point is, fine, throw it down the field. I don't care. I'm going to play you within 8 yards the whole game until you prove otherwise.
Looks like Stephenville has no timeouts. Kilgore still has 53 seconds. I kind of feel Stephenville's going to get some points now before the half.
Oh, wow, that'd be really impressive. Because, I mean, look, as much as we keep talking about what Stephenville's doing defensively, Kilgore bending but not breaking, man. I mean, they have made key play after key play after key play.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, see that helmet sticker that says
the JTM. Yeah,
that's the kid that passed away of a ATV accident. I think it was I think he was a freshman when it happened. But Kilgore's gonna punt. They're
Punter
gonna call
got
it.
hit, or was it a good acting job by the punter?
No flag. Wow.
So it was a good acting job by the punter. Well, terrible acting job, I guess.
I would like to see that again.
Yeah, what's the replay?
Oh, come on. Show the replay broadcast.
Oh, come on. They're not going to do it. Oh.
$3,100 watching.
Yeah, it looks like 3,100 joined. It's been quiet in the chat, but I think a lot of it's because a lot of people are probably at work.
Losers.
We're all working.
My plan was to be there the Thursday and Friday this week, but things happened. I couldn't get down there, so.
That private plane hadn't showed up yet?
No, has not shown up yet.
Oh, a fumble.
Oh,
a fumble.
I saw that.
I think he fell back on it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Lucky.
Oh.
All of a sudden, Stephenville's trying to catch up with Kilgore on the turnovers.
Yeah. Just playing hot potato with the football. Boop. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh. So lucky.
I think I'm about to
His
say,
knee pops it right back underneath
On
him.
the ball, go to half. Go to locker room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, it's halftime. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We will be right back. I'm going to let Kevin's numbers go off. Mainly, I got to go walk my dog. She's starting to get pissed at us. But we'll be right back. It's halftime. 0-0. Stephenville versus Kilgore right here on L4 Media.
Welcome back to the Altex Welding Supply by the numbers. It's week 16, state championship week at AT&T Stadium. I'll take a look at classifications 4A, 3A, and 2A. I'm Kevin McPherson, here to present By the Numbers for the Sideline to Sideline podcast. So let's get started. Our first number is 11, the total number of plays that the Munster offense was able to generate in the second half against Groover. Yet the Hornets defense, it had to be tired, but it held on for a 21-18 win. Munster got a 71-yard touchdown pass from Carney to Cunningham, just over 9 minutes left in a game that featured 5 lead changes. They'll be taking on Shiner. That Shiner defense showed up again against Mount Enterprise. The Comanches give up just 10.7 points per game. This is a rematch of the 2024 title game. It's Shiner's defense against the Munster offense, averaging almost 450 yards per game. That will be the nightcap Wednesday at AT&T Stadium. Our next number, 23 for Joaquin, the total number of unanswered points in their upset win over number one Refugio last week. The Bobcats led 28-14, but an onside kickoff and then a fumble on a kickoff return helped the Rams. Could it be the year for the slot T Mafia? Well, the Rams average more than 300 yards rushing on offense, and they take on a Hamilton team that is a balanced offense. Hamilton averages 181 yards passing, 179 yards.
We are back here on the pregame show, and this is a legitimate first. We have Grant Goodwin, we have me, and we have Coach X live here on our pregame shows this year. Thanks for being here, Coach X.
Hey, man, you guys asked me to do this, and, after some solid convincing, I finally agreed to it. But, I'm a busy man. I can't
Did you ask him?
No, I really didn't.
I didn't ask him.
No.
How the hell did you get on here?
I got 17 emails and 4 texts about we need you. And I said,
We do.
Finally, after a while, I said, okay, I'll give in.
We need Lindell Eagle fan to watch the show, and we know you rage bait him. Playoff tree.
Wait, who's that? Who y'all talking about?
The Lindell fan on Smokey that absolutely hates Coach X.
He hates me, and you know what? It's like Adam said.
Got a brother in arms.
Like, shut up. Like Adam Sandler said in Wedding Singer. Yeah, well, I have a microphone, and you don't, Eagle fan, so you will listen to every word that I have to say.
Hey, man, real quick, Coach X, how's Snickers doing?
Snickers,
the dog that I rehomed to you during the Christmas party last year.
Yeah, I sold him.
No, okay.
Hey, what? I had left the Christmas party, I guess, at this point. What are y'all talking about?
I thought I think he's making that up. Who the hell did I give Snickers to?
I
don't know. Okay.
Somebody was hungry, I guess. I don't know.
I'm around you all football season, and I don't remember a dog. Are you sure you didn't take the neighbor's dog again?
I thought he was doing the hungry, why wait? Have a Snickers or whatever.
No.
I thought he was doing something like that as well.
I gave a dog away, and I thought I gave it to him. Never mind.
I was going over
Can
my
we
production
cut that?
notes.
Never mind. I
was going over my production notes, and I did not see anything about a Snickers. So I was like, where is this going?
I did once give a cat to Grant. That's a true story.
I did, and my evil ex-wife still has it. And that is a mean cat, by the way.
That's why I gave it to you. Anyway, it is state championship week. Of course, we're going to be picking all of the state championship games and talking about them 4A, 3A, and 2A. But before we do that, just overall, what were y'all thoughts on the 2025 season?
Who goes first?
You go.
Me?
Yeah, go.
Man, so the regular season kind of played out kind of like what we thought, but man, when we got the last 2 rounds of the playoffs, things really started getting interesting, right? A lot of really good semifinal games, and some of them were upsets, and I just thought, we got new blood, right? I mean, outside of a few blue bloods in there, we still got some new blood this weekend, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, it was just good to be back coaching football after that trip through the Pacific Northwest. There's a lot of weird women up there, dude. I'm just telling you right now.
But they're usually kind of easy, right?
No, that's what they want. That's what they want you to think. You get them up there and they see a straight white man and they like lure you in with
it was that Trump tattoo on your chest is what it was.
It was. I mean, they lure you in with dreams of cotton candy and open legs and ganja and all that stuff. And then those things are all taken away and snapped shut at the wink of a hat. When they get you, when that door locks, there's some weird stuff that happens to you up there. So it was great to be back in the great state of Texas. And then y'all never really talk about my junior high C team, but we won the district we're in. We went 3-0. We went 3-0. We only had 3 games, but we won them all. All the other teams were scared. All right.
I heard that 125-pound nose guard you had really tearing up the district and the C team.
It was hard. It was hard to get him on the field because he didn't have an ear. He had a prosthetic ear. And so,
prosthetic ear. Did he hear through it?
He couldn't. I mean, well, we tried. Like, I was going to make him the quarterback, and I was going to speak into the ear and see if he could hear me out on the deal because we couldn't afford the communication system. It didn't work. It didn't work.
Y'all don't have the Apple iWatches on the C team.
We don't have that. We had the Apple. We had the eye ears, and so we tried that,
which
but
was Mickey Mouse ears.
it was, dude. It was that, and so
Civil War
his-
thing that stuck out.
his prosthetic ear kept coming off every time he got hit, and we'd have to tell him. And then
Well, the weird thing is they had a 125-pound nose guard, but a 275-pound running back. So it's the dynamic of the junior high C teams that are always fun.
we had
That 275 pound running back who runs like a 8-second flat 40 is the superintendent's kid, right? So you had to put him back there.
He's really hard to tackle. It's like it was like a Vader from WWE, dude, if you remember Vader. But yeah, we did have a one-legged deep snapper too. He snapped it and he rolled. He was pretty good. But other than
I
that,
can't wait to see this C team when they get up to varsity.
Hey, they'll be ready to go. Those guys would stick you. All right.
Oh man, can you get us sideline credentials to see one of y'all's games?
We play on Thursdays. We usually kick off around 4, so it's going to probably be tough for y'all to get here. But we'll figure
or
figure it out. No, it's the varsity.
Okay. But when they make it to varsity, will you get us sideline passes so we can come see these guys?
We'll do that. The varsity C team. We'll do that. We'll have
y'all have a varsity C team.
Each one of them will have a little patch on their jersey of BC, and everybody be like, "Man, they got a lot of captains." No, those guys were on the C team 6 years ago.
Y'all play Huntington, and you play Paris Chisholm,
Tulia and Tornilio.
Anthony.
If you want to impress me, instead of a one-legged snapper, give me a one-legged punter.
No, dude. No,
yeah. That's pretty awesome.
He's the quickest in the district. Catch, snap, kick, back on the ground.
Going back to the season, Grant and I, and of course, Coach X talking with us in text and stuff, we had talked about outside of 4A, 3A and down, it felt like this was going to be a year of change. Now, in saying that, we do have Munster and Shiner. That's a rematch, but I think that's a rematch everybody's kind of curious to see about. But when you look at Hamilton versus Joaquin, and then especially 3A Division I, and of course, we'll get into the actual state championship when we pick that one. But just 3A Division I was the most interesting because you had so many powerhouses. And yet, at the end of the day, Yoakum is one of the teams that just kind of survived maybe the toughest region.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Yoakum Region 3 and 3A Division I is a monster. I mean, Franklin, Columbus, Hitchcock. I mean, even the bad teams are good. I mean,
they kind of cannibalized each other, right?
Yeah,
especially when you got to, and throw in Hardin in there, right? Who's very young, but is a very dangerous team. And then you got that with Franklin, Columbus, and all. I mean, geez, man, how do you handle that?
You get the heavy hitters, and then you got the ones that are like middle of the road in that region. But if you put them in a different region, they're probably, maybe playing in the 4th round of the playoffs. And like you said, in Hardin and Little River Academy and those guys like that. I mean, hell, you survive that gauntlet. Are you even able to play in the state championship game? I mean, you might just be the walking wounded going in. So,
I mean, that might have happened a little bit with Columbus losing to Yoakum a little bit, right? They left it all on the field against Franklin. Not saying Yoakum, wasn't the better team, because obviously they are, but Columbus just let a lot of their guts on the field against Franklin.
Yeah, I mean, one of their starting linebackers was out for that Yoakum game because of the Franklin game.
Yeah, I mean, and just the emotional high of you played that level, because I knew Yoakum would make it that far, but you guys kept billing up Columbus and Franklin about that it was the state championship game. But I mean, I don't think I missed but maybe 2 picks all playoffs. So, I mean, you have that, that game was built up as a state championship game by sideline to sideline, and those 2 guys other than Coach X. So, I mean, those kids go from that to, to the
I almost missed my my Joaquin over Refugio pick. I was close to losing that. I thought there for a while, that Refugio is going to win that game, and I was like, I'm going to look like an idiot.
I mean, I picked Joaquin like nobody else.
Yeah,
did.
me too. Me too. I think we
I
even
don't think
discussed
think
that.
there was a whole lot of people in the state who didn't think Joaquin would beat Refugio. I mean, come
Just
on.
you and I, really, to be honest with
really,
you.
it's Joaquin.
Terry picked Refugio by like 35 or something like that.
Yeah.
What an idiot!
I know. But speaking
Yeah, I
of
know.
crazy
It's all right. Man, he's still learning. He's only been in this for 35 years.
I've been
So
reading. I've
he'll
been
get it.
reading, just like Grant's parents reading how to, teach a retarded kid. I've been reading how to ball. How to ball. I'm just trying to figure it out. But it is funny though that 2A Division One.
Wait, did you just bring up the book that I found in my parents' house?
That's become such a thread this year. Everybody talks about they legitimately on our Discord, which if you join our Patreon, you can see on Smoky Messages. Everybody thinks that's a joke, like you're just making that up, but that's a real thing.
No, I have the picture of the damn book.
Yes, he does.
Which I will confront my parents once again at Christmas.
But anyway, going back to 2A Division One, and we're not going to talk realignment now, but in saying this, it is crazy that this is a division that's getting 2 first-time state finalist teams, and then when the numbers came out today, Munster and Shiner are moving up to 2A Division One, and it kind of feels like we're going to get a repeat of what we're having in 2A Division Two and 2A Division One next year.
Oh yeah, there's a good possibility of that. I mean, that's a great game. Just the square-headedness of that game. Shiner versus Munster. I mean, the beer
Bohemia
makers
Bowl, right?
Yeah, the beer makers versus the cheese makers. I mean, come on, dude. Come on, throw on some lederhosen, put on a feather hat, and start freaking doing some polka dancing.
We saw at the end of this game last year when Munster outlasted Shiner in a great game. Everybody looked at each other in the press box at AT&T Stadium and saw what both teams had coming back and saying, we're going to see this game again next year. And lo and behold, here we are.
But the crazy thing is, yes, but then that still was one of the toughest divisions in the divisions that all around. I mean, you look at just what Munster had to do to get through to Region 2 and then to survive Groover, which, man, Groover did everything right in that game. Even Coach Carney said it, and you'll hear it on the pregame for that one. Groover outplayed Munster, but, I mean, Munster has that championship pedigree.
Well, I was talking to a guy from Munster at the Gunner Wall game. He was an ex-Gunner guy, and he had a kid that played for Gunner, moved to Munster, and he was talking about that Munster-Groover game, and I said, man, that Groover defense was pretty darn good, right? And he said, yeah, they were a lot better than what we thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
And that summed it all up because Groover's defense was low-key one of the best defenses in the region, if not in the state.
They were, and again, when we get to that pick, Munster's also going through some injury issues, which might change how this state championship game is. But overall, though, I think the best thing is it's just been such a wide open season. I know when you look at 4A, you see, and I know Stephenville's a blue blood, but they haven't been there in a few years. Kilgore is back. In 4A Division 2, yes, you've got Carthage, but West Orange Stark, a blue blood, but they haven't been there in a while. And then again, 3A Division 1, crazy. 3A Division 2 is going to be fun. We get the Munster Shiner rematch, but we also get the Hamilton versus Joaquin. Looking outside of that at 5A and 6A, I don't know why. Maybe it's just been a couple years, but I'm actually interested in the Duncanville versus North Shore game again. I feel like that's now back.
Man, we get that one again.
Yes,
for 5,000 years in a row. We get, and both of them were off of at least Duncanville was off of upsets, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, let's turn our attention to Kilgore versus Stephenville. Of course, Kilgore made it last year, losing to Salina. Man, this is one of those games that I can see this being a defensive slugfest. I also can see this being a big, high-scoring game. Grant, you start. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I think Stephenville has the edge up offensively. Obviously, and their defense is top-notch. One of the best defenses in Class 4A. But I think Kilgore to win, Kilgore's Cam Christian. at nose guard is going to kind of limit Zyler McClendon, the running back for Stephenville, right? I think that's what they're going to take away. Kilgore's going to take away the running game. Now, Trot Jordan, quarterback, has been money all year for Stephenville. Kilgore's got the quickness to jump on routes early, right? The short routes. But I think I just think Stephenville's offense, the way they can get the ball out quick with Trot Jordan on the edges, and then the deep ball, they've got two wideouts. They can go and get every 50-50 ball, it seems like, right? And their defense is going to limit Kilgore a little bit. I like Stephenville, but I think this is going to be a darn close game. I like Stephenville in a close one, though.
Coach X?
Yeah, I was at the the Salina Kilgore game last year in the state championship game, and I thought that was going to be a really good game. And Salina punched Kilgore in the mouth, and Kilgore said, "We're ready to go back to East Texas." And I don't know that it will be any different. I mean, Stephenville beat Ruston, who beat Longview. I know, like really, football's all about matchups and all that. I don't know that Kilgore will be the best team that Stephenville has played all year, and I think Stephenville will be the best team that Kilgore has played all year. I really do think that.
Well, they did play Carthage.
They did play Carthage.
I'm a big Carthage fan. I'm not so sure Carthage could beat Stephenville.
I get it.
And so I really do. I like Stephenville, or I had a really good time in Stephenville from in the early part of my younger years, or whatever F. Scott Fitzgerald said. In my younger, more vulnerable years, I had a lot of good times in Stephenville. A lot of times, I made that joke before. I got kicked out of city limits once, lots of times, and and I used to be a bouncer at Ballstocks. Ballstocks not even in Stephenville anymore. They changed it all up. It's gone. But I used to walk right across the street from Tarleton into Ballstocks, put my shirt on, and get to work.
You know what? I went to Weatherford College my freshman year, and we used to go to Ballstocks all the time. I wonder if you probably kicked me out once or twice, because I got kicked out once or twice.
I probably kicked you out more than once or twice. But
yeah, and you probably said, "Dude, that was the toughest dude I've ever kicked out."
That was the baddest dude in the history of Weatherford College, right there. But anyway, I think it'll go this. I think it might be close for a while. Kilgore can run the football. They are really good on defense. But
darn good on defense, and that's what's going to keep them in this game.
So is Stephenville.
Yeah, they are.
Stephenville and Carthage was really good on defense last year, and they're always going to run the ball. They're going to run the power. They're going to do all that stuff. But I got to go with the Yellow Jackets in this one. Shout out to the I used to call it Stephenburg. So shout out to Stephenburg and Tarleton State University. I got to go with the Yellow Jackets.
Oh, what happened to the Texans, dude? Did you see that game?
Yeah, that was a tough way to lose.
Yeah, it was. And did you know they were offering dollar beers and dollar hot dogs?
And they were putting good-looking cheerleaders up on Twitter saying, "Come watch the game." I mean, they were doing everything they could to get people there.
A running back transferred at halftime. Announced it on Twitter that he was transferring. All right, going back to this game, I feel like this is going to be one of those games that's a defensive slugfest until the fourth quarter, and then things are going to happen. We've seen that so many times in the playoffs where all of a sudden big plays happen. I actually disagree with you, Coach X. I agree with what happened with Salina. I think this is a different Kilgore team. And you keep talking about the running game and everything, but Kason Brooks is breaking every Kilgore passing record. Last week, he threw for 236 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also ran one on the ground. On the year, he's thrown for 3,100 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. And this is a guy that hasn't had to play a lot of games. And I know it's way early in the season, but Grant will attest to this. Kilgore outplayed Carthage most of that game. KJ Edwards
for the first half.
Well, even
for sure, and part of the third quarter, obviously, yes.
They had the bad start to the third quarter where they fumbled the ball deep in their own territory, but they made Jet Surratt look goofy at times. And I know
They did, but Terry, I'll remind you when Carthage got serious about it. Let's get KJ Edwards involved a little bit more. You know,
Well,
I don't know that will
like KJ Edwards though.
Huh?
I don't think Stephenville has anything like KJ.
No, they don't. They don't. I mean, Zyler McClendon's a really good back, but no, he's not. He's not KJ Edwards. So yeah, I do agree with you there. I think some team, one of these two teams, is going to turn the ball over a couple of times, and that's going to be the difference because that's how close they are. But I just really like the balance of that Stephenville offense and their defense being very solid. Kilgore has a very solid defense, but I don't think Kilgore's offense is as good as Stephenville's offense.
See, I totally disagree. I think the difference is I think maybe Stephenville's defense is better than Kilgore's defense. I think Kilgore's offense is at least on par. And I do want to point out on the Ruston game, it's still a great win, but Ruston also had their #1 rated tight end, star out, and they also had a couple of other players that were beat up. But anyway, so you and Coach X have Stephenville. I have Kilgore.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player, any age, at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easier to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm writing. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. And the concussions I've got, and I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
Coach Surratt came in 2007, and really what's remarkable about him is how quickly he turned the program around.
The biggest challenge here was just to change the mindset. Obviously, we want a winning culture, but the first thing you got to instill is, toughness. It don't matter if it's volleyball, football, baseball.
He's put Carthage on the map to a great extent.
Hey, Coach, are you ready to elevate your locker room experience? Well, at H&H Locker Solutions, we pride ourselves on delivering the highest quality lockers at the lowest cost in the Southeast. As a coach-owned business based in Alabama, we understand the needs of the coaches and the players alike. Our mission is to improve your locker room and streamline your process, and we're coming to Texas. Did you know we offer a free locker program? That's right. We ship all across the USA, ensuring you get the best solutions tailored just for you and your program. Want to learn more? Drop a comment or give Coach Harris, a.k.a. Ty, a call at 256-458-4427, and let's take your locker room to the next level.
Out.
All right, we are back now. Long half, so we play some stuff so we can all get our drinks. And I ate a bologna sandwich. I hadn't eaten all morning because I was trying to edit. But guys, This has been a slog of a game. I mean, I'm enjoying it, but man, these two teams are just standing in the middle of the field, just swinging at each other.
Yeah, I mean, they're giving the ball to each other.
Yeah.
So many turnovers.
Yeah, no, they really are. On my prediction, I predicted high scoring, but then at the very end, I go, or it could be the complete opposite, and it could be a slugfest, and it's turning out to be the opposite of what I thought might happen.
We do so many picks. I sometimes forget how I phrased it, but I was playing our picks at halftime, and I said I felt it was going to be a defensive slugfest until the fourth quarter. And especially in high school football, how many times do you see that 7-0 fourth quarter game becomes a 28-27 because crazy things start happening? Something's got to break here.
I agree. Something's got to break.
Let's see what the coaches do with their halftime adjustments. I'm kind of curious. I think the second half is going to play a lot different than the first half for sure.
Kilgore will be kicking off again 0-0. And of course, now we're in the era where they can use iPads at halftime and stuff. And so they can actually look at things from the first half.
For Android users like myself, we call them tablets.
I'm an Android user, so.
Yes, you are.
I bet Chris is an Apple user.
Yes, I am.
Let's not get that debate going.
I bet you can go into an Apple store. They're like, Chris, welcome. Here's our latest stuff. You should see the box he built. But he does broadcast for Bushland.
Oh, okay.
And he is, I am jealous as somebody who used to have to lug around bags of equipment. He has basically built this box that is his production center. And he's always toying it, making it better. But you can just open it up and everything you need right there. Your screen so you can see your feedback, your monitor and everything. Legitimately, dude, I think you should make those and sell those.
It's been a labor of love, and it was all out of frustration, right? It's like I'm so tired of carrying all this crap and setting it up, and then it taking us 30 minutes to get out of the press box. And now we beat our camera guy most of the time. He doesn't even get the camera broke down by the time we're ready to roll. So
I'm serious. You need to market that because I wasn't even doing video, but doing audio back in the day, same thing. Part of the reason why Grant and I finally hung up doing the broadcasting, it was the end of the game. Just, God, we've been doing this for 4 hours. It's 11 p.m. and we still got 30 minutes of breaking down equipment and packing it and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, the last mod that I made, there he goes. So he's got some speed to him.
No, they called him out.
Did he go out?
Sadly, it won't matter because they're going to call it out, and that's a non-reviewable. You can't really do anything about it.
Let's see.
You said it wasn't going to be the same, intern Noe the Pro, and you got the first one right. Oh.
He did not go out. I don't think he did. We need another angle.
He's still in. Still in.
Right there, maybe?
Maybe the left toe or left heel.
That is so close.
I think that's the one, the left heel, maybe.
Right there.
That wasn't conclusive to me.
Wow. Well, we answered the question, does he have speed?
One-on-one, that's a touchdown.
Wow. And a
Pass
flag.
interference.
Pass interference on the defense. It will not count. The touchdown will. Stephenville strikes first. You get the big run play, then you hit him with the big pass play. Man, what a start to the second half for Stephenville.
There you go.
Yeah, couldn't have scripted better.
So, when they played West Plains, their second half adjustments completely shut West Plains out at that point. And you might see it happen again with this game.
Threw it early enough to where he could maintain the one-on-one coverage. The safety tried his best to get there, but it was just too late. Great execution.
Great concentration on the catch, too.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes the worst thing, talking about West Plains, that can happen to a team is you beat the team the year before. Same thing like with Carthage and Athens. Athens hung around with Carthage so much in district play. And when you give Scott Surratt and that staff a game against you, they're going to figure your things out. And that's the thing. And high school, in my opinion, is where adjustments are the biggest key. You can not completely do things different, but you have the time and the ability to really do true adjustments. If you ever listen to anybody in the NFL, they'll just talk about, basically halftime, you're getting a power bar, you're getting a couple keys, and then you're moving on. You're not really going to the chalkboard and drawing things up. In high school, you're still doing that at halftime.
Yep.
And of course,
If you look, you know what froze that safety is 13 for Stephenville did a comeback route. He was selling it like he was going long, and he came back. As soon as he stuck that foot to come back, that safety froze, and that left that one-on-one coverage
That's all
on
you
that
need.
outside.
Couple of seconds. That's all you need.
Yep.
Great execution.
Just enough to cause a pause.
Yeah.
cause a pause. I like that.
Is that a new dance, Terry?
I have no clue.
Okay. I'm still trying to get over the whole 6-7 dance.
Everybody is. You know, it's really bad when even kids can't explain what it is.
Yeah. This Gen Alpha age here.
Is that what they are now, Gen Alpha?
Yeah, I think the iPhone or the smartphone age, 07, 08, anyone born around that time, that's the Gen Alpha.
Gotcha.
Well, they ran out of letters, you know.
Well, he's having fun on the sideline.
He's talking, isn't he?
We got points now. Okay, head coach looks hilarious with the hair because he looks very straight laced, and then he has that hair. I can't take him seriously.
It was so funny in that game last night. Grandview, Kenny Heath, who knows Grandview well, kept pointing out they kept pointing to the wrong coach for Grandview all game long, thinking that was the head coach, and it wasn't. It was the offensive coordinator. All right, so Kilgore has to answer now.
Positive yards to start. They're gonna have to. They won't be able to slog it all the way down to the other side, though. They're gonna have to have some big plays here.
They need to get a little bit going with the run game. Then they need to hit them with a little play action.
Yeah, kind of like what Stephenville did on that drive.
Yep, that's exactly what they did.
No negative plays either.
Correct. Like this play right here.
Wow. I mean,
why did you curse them, Terry?
I just, you know, I am not a big fan of left-right football, especially when you're playing a team like Stephenville. We saw it last night with Grandview. You know, whenever Grandview would go up and be aggressive north-south, they were having success against Yoakum, but then they'd start trying to throw the wide receiver screens or these slow developing left-right plays, and Yoakum could just key down and use their speed to tackle them.
Here from 3rd and 2, or 2nd and 2 to 3rd and 8.
Seems like Stephenville is a faster team from sideline to sideline.
And they really shouldn't be. Oh, nice play right there. Oh, what a big play for the first down.
Clutch.
Who was that? Who caught that? The tight end.
The tight end.
Position you
First
talked about.
catch of the year.
Wow.
Oh, wow. First catch.
I think he kind of runs as fast as we do right now.
Yeah. That's the rumbling, tumbling, bumbling kind of.
Yeah.
But he's like super excited.
Oh,
I've held out all year. I get a catch in the state championship game.
He'll be talking about that for the next 30 years.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Kilgore answering back with a big play of their own down the sideline. Rayshawn Williams, we haven't really talked enough about him, man. What an explosive play. And just like that, both offenses' adjustments are working coming out of the halftime. Yeah, that tight end, in 10 years, he's going to be telling that story about how he caught the key catch that started the comeback and all that.
These kids are going to be looking at him like, you caught a pass, Dad?
Hey, when he gets that sales job for the car dealership or whatever, yeah, he's going to be referencing that.
Oh, like the Vanderbilt quarterback where he'll end up selling cars?
Yeah. No, Diego Pavia.
Man, has there ever been a player that goes from the plucky underdog to one of the most hated players in a 3-year window? I love the meme. Somebody said, man, you know it's bad when you make people hate Vanderbilt football. Which we got to see him in person.
Yeah.
Had a blast at that game. And give him credit, man. He almost brought him back, but the dude needs to dial it down a little bit, especially when he says F the voters at the Heisman. That just...
I don't know why he thought he was going to win the Heisman Trophy.
And also, he looked like a singer from the 90s Color Me Bad
The
R&B
outfit,
group.
that outfit didn't help.
Turtleneck and Chains. You remember that album
Yeah.
from Lonely Out? Turtleneck and Chains.
What y'all think of the Heisman voting? I knew it was going to be Mendoza.
No, we called it.
Uh,
Number one team, undefeated, starting quarterback, great, an underdog team, really, if you think about it. I just knew it was going to be him. I really thought Jacob Rodriguez should have gotten an invite to New York.
I agree. My partner and on the other show, he and I get into this big argument. Of course, he's a former quarterback from Indiana State. But I said, well, just call it the quarterback award then if you're not going to at least acknowledge the fact that he was the best defensive player. And he goes, he won the best defensive player award. I go, yeah, but that's the best player award too. So we go back and forth. But I think he should have had the invite. I think Mendoza rightfully won, but I think he should have been there.
I almost think when they put him on offense, I think that kind of unfairly to him, kind of soured people on it because it felt like Texas Tech was trying to force that vote, to get him on the thing. I do think that, look, we need to have the conversation. The Heisman is just not what it used to be. And it's not about if they make it to pro or not. I never cared about that. But, I mean, I can remember, and maybe it's my age, and maybe it's because I'm at that part where I just, I don't watch everything sports, but it didn't matter if a guy was at the, in the finals or not. I would watch the Heisman Award ceremony. Now, I just wait and see whenever you get
I
a
don't watch it.
notification of who won.
I don't care. I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, especially because you kind of knew who was going to, well, by that Saturday, you kind of knew who was going to win. You knew it wasn't going to be Jeremiah Love, the running back for Notre Dame. You knew it wasn't going to be Julian Sand. Yeah, like you were saying, it wasn't going to be Pavia. I knew it was going to be Sand because Ohio State's known more for their outstanding defense this season than they are for offense, even though they have a great wide receiver in Jeremiah Smith. Sand had statistically, Julian Sand had a great year, but he wasn't going to win the Heisman Trophy. It was definitely going to go to the guy that beat him in the Big Ten title game.
Well, and I'll say I think Mendoza sealed it on that third down pass.
Yes.
That as soon as he completed it, I looked over and I think my wife was sitting there. I go, a kid just won the Heisman with that pass for sure. He sealed the deal. It was already close anyway, but that pretty well sealed it as soon as he dropped that one in the bucket.
Doesn't that wide receiver, isn't he from Texas or something?
Oh, the one that he threw it to?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he is.
They're such a great story. No 5-star recruits. No, I don't even think they have a 4-star recruit. But Indiana, great coaching by Kurt Signetti, 13-0, number one team in the country. I really hope they go far. You almost feel like it's not going. They're not going to win, but it's one of those teams I kind of root for, especially for someone like me that doesn't have a favorite college team. Yeah, it'd be nice to see them go far. Oh, I also want to see Texas Tech go far.
I want to see Texas Tech upset some folks. I really do.
I'd love it. I don't know, man.
I mean, think of Texas Tech in the semifinals. That sounds great. It sounds possible too. There's really no clear-cut dominant team in college football, which I love.
I thought it was Ohio State until Indiana took care of that.
I still feel like it's Georgia and Ohio State. Again, going back to what we were talking about, Indiana winning that first game, but then you're going to give Ohio State and that defense, if they play again, I don't know. I still just feel like we've referenced this many times, the 07 funny year with, at one point you had Kansas, Missouri, West Virginia, all these crazy teams in the top 10, but at the end of the day, it was still two blue bloods that played for the national championship.
Yeah, LSU and Oklahoma or Ohio State. Yeah, LSU and Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken. And LSU had 2 losses that season. I think they were one of the first 2-loss teams to win the national championship.
And the linebackers for Stephenville are just killing it right now.
2nd and 11 now, 7-0 Stephenville. Already 7 minutes in the third quarter. Like you said, this game has kind of burned fast. Now, in saying that, all these games in that fourth quarter tend to get really slow in the state championships.
They really want to make those screen games work.
But that's their offense. I mean, that's their passing game, and it
ain't working.
Yeah. and again, you can do that against, average to even good teams and use your athleticism, but you've got to make those safeties respect that you might do a screen and go at any point.
That's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to back them off. They're going to have to pump that screen and send one of those guys deep or go opposite side or over the middle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 30
Where's that
deep.
tight end again?
Oh, that was a hope and a prayer throw.
Well, I mean, the offensive line just, he had a guy in the backfield. So speaking of West Plains, I mean, did they just run out of gas this year?
Yeah, I mean, that's I think part of it. I think Stephenville's just a better team for sure. Um, but they look pretty strong. A lot of people felt like their offense wasn't going to be able to stay up and keep that level. I tell you, Reed's a great kid, and we had him on the show, right? And really enjoyed that. But a lot of people felt like he wasn't the athletic quarterback that they needed to get him all the way into the championship.
Oh,
They
missed field goal.
tried a 46-yarder. It had the distance. He just
did.
couldn't hook it in. And we saw him kick against Carthage. Saw him in pregame, and this kid legitimately could end up kicking at a D1 school. He's got the leg. I mean, right there, it just didn't. It didn't have enough fade to it.
Yeah, he's got a big leg. But I think, West Plains is kind of in trouble. And I say that because, number one, they're graduating 33 seniors. That's a
Yeah.
huge class.
Ouch.
They're all the original players from that school when they started as a high school. But nobody else has been playing. And this is something Julie and I were talking about on our show. Man, you got to get these younger kids in the game to get them playing because they're going to be next year's team. And if you're not giving them any time, when you're up by 3 or 4 touchdowns, put in those other guys that are going to be your players next year and get them some reps. Because there's a big difference between playing JV ball and playing varsity.
Now, are they going to stay in 4A or are they moving up to 5A?
I didn't see what numbers they reported. They're going to be right on the edge of 5A for sure. So they've pulled numbers away from Amarillo. They've pulled numbers away from Randall and Canyon for sure. A lot of people have moved into that from Amarillo. So Amarillo High and Tascosa have suffered a little bit from West Plains starting up.
All right, so West Plains, well, that's 2024. Hang on.
So, I mean, they could be the surprise team next year because you're not really expecting much out of them because they're going to start a lot of younger players. And two, like, you don't know how those players are.
Wow. West Plains remains down in 4A Division I by 27 students.
I knew it was going to be close.
Wow, that's a shock because I think a lot of people were assuming they'd move up. I see what you're saying, Noe, but you're going to be starting probably nothing but juniors and sophomores and seniors like Chris that hasn't got a lot of playing time. And Canyon in of itself, we got to give Canyon ISD credit. All 3 of their teams played for a while in the playoffs. One of them, Canyon, their head coach, basically went on TikTok and shot the bird at everybody and told them to F off in the middle of the season. So he was reassigned. They still kept winning. And then Randall was supposed to be down this year. And that defense was so darn good, and they are very, very young. I think that's the team that maybe takes West Plains' place in the hierarchy of Canyon next year.
I think so too. I definitely think Randall's teed up to be that team, and from an Amarillo ISD, it's definitely Paladura High School is going to be that team next year.
I agree.
They're not sneaking on anybody, but they got some serious talent on that team. A lot of D1 kids.
Okay, nothing against Ted Emmerich. Coy Eakin was not lightly recruited by the state champion. He began the year lightly recruited, but Texas Tech offered him like in week 7 or 8. That was a great game, man. LBJ, the lights were too big for him in the first half. They kind of had gotten back into it in the second half, and then that famous play where the interception, and then Coy Eakin smartly punched the ball out, and it went from an interception to a touchdown. All right, it feels like Kilgore's defense this might be the difference in the game type of drive right here.
All right.
I just don't know if Kilgore can go down 14 and come back.
Oh, yeah, the way they're playing on offense, I don't see that happening at all.
They're going to go. Stephenville's going to go down the field again. They're pulling them up. They're baiting them up.
It was a good first down stop by Kilgore. I mean, the first play of the last drive, running back ran off left and had that big gain of 28 yards, and then kind of stopped them on this one. All right, roll out. to the right, catch.
That's Stephenville 101 passing right there. The rollout, the wide receiver running the out to the sideline, catch, plant the foot, go out of bounds.
It's such a good offensive scheme if you think about it, because if you can get a quarterback who can throw on the run like that, you're gaining so much space for a receiver.
Yeah.
To be able to get open, because what are you going to do as a defender? It's hard to do that unless you're double covered in there and you got a front and back coverage.
I mean, yeah, you're an All-American if you can cover for 4 seconds, but after that, you're just an average Joe out there.
Oh,
good tip.
Beautiful play. Now, is Stephenville, do you get aggressive here on 4th down or do you punt? Trot's wanting a play call. I say screw it. Be aggressive. Kilgore hasn't peed a drop against you so far this game. And I know you could say, well, if you don't make it and then you give Kilgore momentum, but I say keep pushing it. Great play by the linebacker. Or that's safety, excuse me.
For the reason you just said, I say go for it. But typically I would have just punt because Kilgore hasn't really done much at all.
I'd say go for it. Yeah, I agree. Kilgore hadn't done anything. Are you really hurting? I mean, there's too much upside versus a downside, I think.
So looking at some of this for your area, your neck of the woods, Paladuro remains 5A by 18 students. West Plains remains 4A Division I by 27 students. Perryton remains at 4A Division II by 5 students. And Canadian almost dropped to 2A Division I. They missed it by 3 students. If Canadian,
they didn't drop.
They didn't. They missed by 3. If Canadian would have dropped to 2A Division I, Canadian wasn't going to lose for the next 2 years. I mean, they might not lose anyway because they're young and they were a year ahead this year. They're going to be great in 3A Division II, but man, if you'd have put them in 2A Division I out there, man, we would see some basketball scores.
Yeah. Well, interesting. Yeah, there was talk. We thought Perryton might actually drop.
I was hoping they would. They need to.
Their quarterback, he'll be a senior this next year. Colton, that kid, he's pretty good.
He is special, but the issue is they need more playmakers for him.
100%. He just needs to transfer to Bushland for us.
Yeah, there you go. So if you've seen the intro, it's the guy from Friday Night Lights, the booster.
Yeah, I just saw that, yeah.
That's who you need to be for Bushland. You need to be driving around West Texas brokering deals in the back of your pickup. We're actually, Noe and I are going to do a retrospective of Friday Nights, the movie and the series. That series is one of my favorite series of all times. I love it. I watch it at least once a year. And I not only because it's football, but just the acting and everything. Just one of those great shows.
I can't watch the movie.
Yeah, well,
because it's wrong.
Noe knows
because you repeat it every wrong part of it.
Well, it's especially the Marshall one because Marshall beat them, and the thing that
at home.
And the thing that blows my mind about that not being in the movie is that was such a precipice moment for Gaines and that Permian team because that was the first time they had been beaten non-district in like 60 games. They went out to the unknown East Texas team that, Marshall had been undefeated in 87 and then lost back-to-back games. This is back when 2 teams made the playoffs, 8-2, and they missed the playoffs. But then they started that year in 88 state ranked, but everybody had Odessa Permian as the favorite. And to be fair, Odessa Permian outplayed Marshall a lot in that game, but Marshall was able to make some key plays. Of course, Jesse Jackson making the stop on the 2-point conversion. And that was such a big moment, and for them to just leave it out of the movie never made sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, 87 was our senior year of football. We won't go 8-2 and miss the playoffs. You're like, seriously.
That Longview loss is why they lost that Tyler Lee game, and that was and again Marshall's back to where they can't beat Longview, but back then Marshall hadn't beat Longview in 18 years.
Yeah.
The thing that was so frustrating about it is it wasn't like every year it was 42-0. It was 14-7.
Close.
Controversial plays, controversial calls and non-calls, and things like that. And so in 87, Marshall thought that we were going to do it. I remember I was sitting in the stands in Longview. They lose that game, and that overhang affected them the next week against Tyler Lee. Missed the playoffs going 8-2. Think about that. 8-2 and missed the playoffs.
Yeah, now you can be 0-10 in a 14 district and make the playoffs.
A lot of people don't remember. I think it's 97. Marshall became the first team to beat the #1 team in the state in back-to-back weeks because they beat Clean Ellison and then they beat Longview, and then they still missed the playoffs.
Really?
Yes, and
I
that
don't
was
remember
back when
that.
3 teams. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, they beat Clean Ellison. They brought Clean Ellison in Marshall on a Saturday, and then they started district the next week. And Longview had been moved up to #1 because of that Clean Ellison loss. Marshall beat them, but then Marshall lost to Nacogdoches and Lufkin.
Kilgore's putting together a drive here.
You know, they were doing it at the last drive of the first half too, but it's just if they have any negative plays, it just derails them.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Things have to go right. I think a trick play, if they can get to the 50-yard line, a trick play might be in the cards. Something that'll throw off Stephenville.
Reverse might not be a bad one.
Yeah.
Because Stephenville's so they pursue.
Yeah, that's it. You can't do that.
Hey, good hands, lineman. You might want to make them an eligible player on the next play.
He caught it just fine.
Like the lineman instinctively had to catch the ball. Not bat it down, just instinctively catch it. Hear the comments.
Hey, if this were 6-man football, that'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah,
but
that'd be a legal play.
This is offensive line discrimination. That's all I can say. Poor guy. Made a good football move, broke some tackles.
He didn't even see #8 in front of him.
Oh, wow, dude. That's a good point.
Good block by #8, though. He was like, you know what? I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to go ahead and block #0.
That's who he was throwing to. But 54 doesn't have a clue he's there.
You can't blame 54, but, man, we need to remember that because not only would that not be a penalty, but 8 was going to get 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah. He had a good look. I mean, I didn't see it till the replay.
Me neither.
I'm assuming #8's a little bit faster than #54.
And legal on catching the pass.
And legal.
So 2nd and 5. Again, we had just said if you're Kilgore today, any negative play just completely kills a drive. And unless they pull something out right here, it looks like it's going to kill a drive.
Boy, that Stephenville defense feeling really good right now.
Oh, yeah. A lot of hubris.
I don't know, man. Stephenville's they're a machine. I'm not saying they don't get cocky, but man, that program and Doty, you know, when he first stepped in, there was a lot of people weren't happy about that, and he is just taking this Stephenville to another level as far as the consistency.
There's an expectation with teams like Stephenville that you're supposed to be there every year.
Oh, terrible.
There's 4 guys right there.
8 at least caught it that time.
Yeah. I almost feel like if Kilgore ever scores a touchdown in this game, they probably should go over 2 points.
Yeah.
I think Kilgore's defense is good enough to shut down Stephenville. I mean, it's only 7-0 going into the 4th quarter here pretty soon.
And look at that coverage, man.
Yeah, I love it. I love it when you swarm a player. I said that earlier in the first half. That's a sign of a well-coached defense.
Well, and you can do what they did coverage-wise because they're not having to bring extra guys. Their front 4 is getting pressure on the quarterback, allowing the other 7 to drop back. Mm-hmm. Oh. Boy, Jimenez.
Good recovery.
Yeah, great job saving that from a disaster.
I still say they're missing the middle of the field. They've got to get something over the middle to pull them off the sideline. Their screens aren't going to work if that's all they're throwing is to the outs all the whole time.
Well, and, you know, talking to coaches, the reason they don't like in high school throwing over the middle, there's more bodies and things like that. But, man, if it's there for the taking, you have to take it. I mean,
Well, even on that last pass play there, if you watched, they had everybody kind of down the sides. When he started moving out to his right, he had another guy coming back across that opposite way, wide open. And the defender's trailing him because they're man-on-man coverage underneath. So, and that's the matchups you want probably with Kilgore's receivers.
I mean, that's what I thought going into the game, man. I mean, I really thought that, you know, Kilgore's a little bit more athletic, and I thought that they would lean into that. And I guess technically with the screens, that's what they're thinking, break one tackle and go. But And it just feels like, I know you're talking about, and the stats say Kilgore's defense is playing well, but man, it still feels like this defense is teetering, though.
Agreed. I tell you, their center has had bad snaps all day for Stephenville.
He had bad snaps when we saw him against La Vega. It didn't matter, though, because they boat raced La Vega like 64-14. But, yeah, I think that's kind of been an issue all year. And I think that's the coach's son, Doty, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, like you were saying, I think Kilgore's defense is starting to break. They've been doing a good job for 3 quarters of holding. That's powerful Stephenville offense to only 7 points, creating turnovers. But yeah, you could see the writing on the wall. I could see Stephenville probably going down and scoring another touchdown. So Kilgore is going to have to make some changes on offense if they're going to stay competitive in this game.
All right, that's the end of the third quarter. We'll take a break and be back. And coming back, fourth quarter, 7-0. Stephenville with the lead and the ball.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player, any age, at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easy to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. And the concussions I've got, I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
Hey, Coach, are you ready to elevate your locker room experience? Well, at H&H Locker Solutions, we pride ourselves on delivering the highest quality lockers at the lowest cost in the Southeast. As a coach-owned business based in Alabama, we understand the needs of the coaches and the players alike. Our mission is to improve your locker room and streamline your process, and we're coming to Texas. Did you know we offer a free locker program? That's right. We ship all across the USA, ensuring you get the best solutions tailored just for you and your program. Want to learn more? Drop a comment or give Coach Harris, a.k.a. Ty, a call at 256-458-4427, and let's take your locker room to the next level.
All right, we're back here as we start the fourth quarter. 7-0, Stephenville leading in what has been just an old school 1988 4A game. Everything's in between the tackles. Here we're talking about Jaden McKinney, who passed away a couple years ago. Tragic ATV accident. And like I said, every time they have advanced each level, as they're showing now, they bring his picture with him.
Very sad. He would have probably graduated.
He'd been a senior this year.
Yeah.
And he was on the team. And Stephenville's one of those that they're 4A Division I, but they still have that small town feel, kind of like Kilgore does. Some of these 4A Division I's, like when Anna was there before they moved up, they're so connected to the DFW Metroplex that at times they lose that small town feel. Stephenville still has it.
Yeah, they're kind of they're just outside of the DFW area. So, I started the fourth quarter. I unfortunately think Stephenville is probably going to score on this drive. Probably on this play. Oh, never mind. Quarterback run, first down.
Gonna be about a yard short, I think. No, they're gonna give him the first down.
Yeah.
Speaking of Stephenville, of course, their longtime rival Brownwood dropping down back to 4A Division II, and that Lion team last year got hot late, and they returned a ton, and I think they're going to be. You're looking at a possible district of Brock, Graham, and Brownwood. That will be a murderous road district. I feel bad for the Mineral Wells or whoever else gets caught up into that district.
Hey, I was checking some Facebook during the break. So Elysian Fields' head basketball coach was arrested for shoplifting in Walmart.
At Marshall? What was he stealing?
It's Crystal Roberts was the name, but yeah, it didn't say. It just says property valued between $100 and $750.
Wow. you
got to go search for something at Walmart for over 100, right?
Yeah.
It's not been a good week for Marshall area former teachers. You had a teacher for improper relations, and then a former Marshall softball coach got sentenced in Denton 70 years for assault and sexual things you can't do. And I'd never heard of him. His name was Justin Warren. But he had coached in Marshall and apparently been fired in Marshall for improper relations. Sometimes we get bored in Marshall. What can we say?
Okay, Dottie, did he snap to the wrong person again?
I don't know if that's intentional. I'm confused.
I am too. It's 2 in a row that's happened, but it's almost like it was supposed to go to the running back.
What I'm noticing, I always like looking at the line play. I'm noticing Stephenville starting to really push Kilgore's defensive line.
As you say that.
He went to the wrong hole. Pause. But because there was a wide open lane up the middle. But yeah, the play before, the entire line for Kilgore was a yard past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they've been on skates at times.
Yeah. Good stop here, right, though.
So fourth down.
They go for it. You already know your defense is going to stop Kilgore unless Kilgore changes up their entire offensive scheme.
I'd kick a field goal. You make it a 2-point game, a 2-score game. I don't know if Kilgore can come back.
We're still unsure if Kilgore will get a score.
Exactly.
Right up the middle, though.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Yep. 10-0 Stephenville. Under 9 minutes left in the game.
Stay on target.
It's going to be interesting.
What do you think, or how do you think Kilgore is going to respond on offense? Do you think they will still be stubborn and keep with the screenplay, or do you think they'll change it up?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. We can talk about changing it up, but if you run a scheme and you've run it all year, I mean, yeah, I guess technically you've heard stories of you draw some plays in the dirt, but I mean, you can't really do much more than what you have done all year. I think maybe the biggest issue is Brooks early with the 2 interceptions and the turn and the fumble. I think maybe he's been shy throwing it down the field at times, and you got to tell him, like, look, dude, you brought us here. You can still write an epic ending, but you got to be aggressive and push the ball down the field.
I couldn't agree more, because you kind of know what's going to happen if you continue with the screenplays. That's a known commodity.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen if you get risky and throw it over the middle. Because Stephenville, I think, really has been scheming for those sideline screens.
Oh. Yeah, there's no doubt, because there's 3 or 4 guys over there the entire time.
Exactly. At least let Stephenville respect your offense by doing something different.
Yeah, Coach needs to flip to the back of that notebook of his with all of his plays and find those pencil drawings that he's been trying to figure out, do they do these plays or not do these plays.
He's turned into Henry Winkler from Waterboy.
I was just thinking that.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe Doherty came over to his apartment and stole his playbook last night.
Was it the Bourbon Bowl? What was
yep. The Bourbon Bowl.
Oh, we need to do a review of that show.
Oh, we will.
For that movie.
That's again, Waterboy is one of my favorites.
Yeah, we were watching it the other day. My son was in for Thanksgiving, and my wife walks in. She goes, "What do you?" Never mind. She turned around and walked out.
Boys being boys.
I love Vicky Valancourt. She loves me too, and she showed me her boobies, and I liked them.
Vicky Valancourt. Oh. I can't believe
Yeah.
they got Kathy Bates to be in that movie. Such a great actress.
Foosball. How many times when we text each other, that's what we reference and we're talking about, foosball.
Foosball.
Oh, Vicky Valancourt.
Look, 6'7".
Oh, can't get away from it. It's like Thanos. It's inevitable. Run
Nerd.
from it.
So I was looking at Twitter at half. Matt Stepp said there is a really good crowd there today for this game.
I mean, it looks good.
Well, it's not that far for either one of them, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
Hour and a half for Stephenville, 2 hours for Kilgore.
How does it typically work?
Yeah,
Do
it's
they
a pretty good
travel-
crowd. You can see it.
Yeah. Do they travel the day of, or do they travel the day before?
Who?
Any of these teams that
It
travel.
depends. Like Munster played on Thursday, but because they played at 11 a.m., he didn't want to have to get them up at 5 a.m., so they went down and got a hotel room and did all that. And I'm pretty sure Stephenville probably drove in because, I mean, you can – it's an hour and a half.
Yeah,
And Kilgore, I don't know. They might have stayed the night. See, look at all the routes. There's nothing going down the field.
No, everything is comeback the whole time.
Curls, and they're not even trying slants.
Curls, outs, and screens.
Yep.
It looks like over the half of the defense is to the outside of the hash mark.
Yep.
So, like,
Well, and the ones that are in the middle, they're 8 yards up.
let's see.
But you got a quarterback that has zero confidence right now, I think, throwing the ball.
I think that's a big part of it.
Okay. I like this. Pass interference?
Yeah,
Gonna
pass
call it?
interference.
There we go.
We had this conversation last night. You know, a lot of NFL fans want pass interference to only be 15 yards. And then college and high school fans all want it to be a spot foul because, like right there, yeah, they get a first down and 15 yards is nice. But if that's a spot foul, Kilgore's knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially for a team like Kilgore, who hasn't really done much on offense today, they could really use that 30-plus yard penalty.
The wide receiver still probably should have caught that. I think he lost the ball.
Yeah, I'd say that wasn't a great effort on the receiver's part.
Hey, George Pickens it.
Because he could have made that. He could have made that interference look a lot worse.
Yeah. Okay, they're close to midfield. This is something. They can get a score before the 4-minute mark. I think they'll be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, but then you're going to get big bowling ball just going forward for 3 snaps and 3 snaps.
That's true, but at least your defense will have some rest and they can be more prepared for that.
There were 3 guys trying to block Darth Vader.
Such a great
That guy is huge.
Yeah.
And he can move.
Oh, okay. One-on-one. That's another pass interference.
Yep. The thing about Darth Vader is he's big, but he can move, man.
I love cornerbacks. They never do anything wrong.
That's what we were talking about, that Kilgore offensive lineman getting all mad that he got caught. Like, what are you mad at? You held.
You got caught.
Yeah. Because, this is the perfect scheme right now on offense because these corners are not used to Kilgore challenging them in this game.
Yeah.
So once they're challenged, oh, wait, I'm caught off guard.
And by the way, both times the wide receivers had 3-4 yards on the corners.
Yeah.
I'd keep doing it, right?
Especially with the 15-yard penalty. Oh, come on, dude. protect the ball.
Dude, he got hit as he was throwing. Kilgore recovers. I saw a flag. I guess that was the.
Oh, lucky them.
Marking the fumble. Yeah.
They need to make 54 an eligible. Wait, they need to get their backup center in there because he has the best hands on the team.
Yeah, the quarterback couldn't do anything there. 75 just got beat.
Dude, how big is the left tackle for Kilgore?
Big one.
I don't think he's big in the good way though.
No, he doesn't seem real fast, but
Yeah. He didn't seem agile.
We haven't seen that enough from Brooks either. We talked a little bit about it with Stephenville's quarterback, but Brooks, a lot of his game is that rolling out and having a wide receiver run across the field where you can throw it to a spot. And I don't know, Kilgore and they did this against Salina. And they've done it against Carthage. They just get really uber conservative against good defenses at times.
well, the one time he rolled out was early in the game when he threw that interception.
That's a good point, yeah. But you can't stop calling those plays because you.
Oh
make
no,
a mistake.
I get it.
Oh, they're gonna go for it if they don't.
This is 4-down territory no matter what. Got him. Oh, rerun that same play.
I would go draw right now on 4th and 4.
Rerun that same play. Oh, what'd you
He
say?
had it.
Quarterback draw.
Quarterback draw. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because look, if he does a draw to the right there, that's a first down and maybe more. And again, Brooks isn't a scrambling quarterback, but he can move. Yeah. Oh, you
got to catch that ball.
Yeah, tough catch. But if you're going to win state, you're going to make tough catches.
Oh,
that's tough.
And he had it. Just.
I'm over here rooting for Kilgore now. I'm like, they're almost there.
Oh, you have to burn a timeout when you are down 2 scores with 6:30 left. And you had to call that there because you don't want to go 4th and 9. But now Kilgore, you get the 2-minute warning, so technically you still have 2 timeouts. But you know that one of the things I hate the most is teams that burn second half timeouts when you're behind.
You and me both. Because they're going to need to burn them when Stephenville gets the ball.
Yep.
What kind of dogs you got, Chris?
I've got a mutt from the pound that's about 70 pounds, and he's 10 and a half years old. And then we've got a 3-year-old cocker.
Oh, I love that.
I have an
Come here.
asshole beagle.
Yeah, this is the cocker. We call her the prince. We call her the princess. So.
Love it.
Come here, Jack. Uh-oh. I told my big dog to come here, so he doesn't want to get in the picture. You want to get in the picture? There he is.
Oh, look at that mutt.
Nice.
That's a
They're
Heinz
big buddies.
Coven.
Oh yeah, they get along. They do.
I have a 17-year-old cat and a 9-year-old beagle, and they do not get along.
She's 17 now?
Yeah, Donna's 17, man.
Wow, nice.
All right, Jack.
Yeah, Abby, studio dog. She's around here somewhere. I think she's probably on the couch.
Oh, she's on the bed at this point.
Okay.
Well, my cocker, she walks the top of the couch all the time, so we call her Parkour. That's our nickname for her.
Parkour.
Oh, that's gonna do it, folks.
I
Oh.
hate it when you come off of a timeout and then you execute like that.
The Stephenville defensive front just dominated Kilgore's offensive line all game.
I would just run, let them burn all their timeouts. Stephenville doesn't really have to do much on offense at this point.
Well, it's too early to call timeouts if you're Kilgore. Man, are we going to see 2 shutouts? I will say this, and this has been a close game-ish. Outside of last night, it has been such an underwhelming 2A through 4A state championship week. And you get them this week. I know we always want to wax poetic, but you're not going to, every year is not going to be a bunch of classics. And this is one of those years. It's just been a lot of dominating, ugly
Defenses. Well, big defensive games.
Up the middle for 2 yards. That's good. Kill the clock.
So Kilgore could be like Shiner, back-to-back state championship appearances and back-to-back losses.
They did a better job on that last offensive series, though, of attacking the corners. If they made that third down catch, I mean, that would have been a game changer. But it was a tough catch to make in general. So,
like Chris said, though, where was those routes earlier in the game?
Yeah, I agree with Chris. They should have done that earlier. Now they're doing it out of desperation. Yep. They're doing what I was telling you they were going to do.
They have wrapped up McClendon. Outside of that one run, they have done a good job on him.
Which I think that should have been a touchdown.
Yeah, I would agree. His run was a touchdown.
Yeah. Kilgore fans, I feel bad.
Kilgore fans, they're on their phones. We're done.
Yeah.
Meet at the bar.
Literally phoning it in.
So normally on a Friday night in Kilgore, there's about 20 fights. Tonight there'll be about 75.
Gotta get that anger out.
It's an oil field town. You don't want to go into Kilgore unless you got some cousins there.
I'm surprised they threw it. I would have just ran it again.
No call. Doty is not happy about that. I want to see that. Some of the camera angles have been crappy, so it was really hard to see that. I want to see that one in slow motion.
Let's see. No, that's fine. That's fine.
They got his head around.
Yeah, and like he didn't really do. Yeah, that's fine.
That's a great no call.
They were throwing for a flag right there, in my opinion.
100%.
Which is a good call. There's nothing wrong with that. They're going to take a delay of game here unless they're going to call a timeout. Oh, they got the snap off. Wow. Impressed. Well, Kilgore, as they say in Waterboy, you live to fight another day. They're still in it. They're running out of time, though. You've got to push the ball. You got to go 2-minute offense the rest of the game. Man.
Yeah, I think you got to go in Bushland. We'll call that NASCAR, right? You got to get up to the line. You got to keep running.
In Bushland, y'all just call that y'all's normal offense at times.
By the way, speaking of NASCAR, R.I.P.
Greg Biffle and his whole family killed in a plane
crash.
crash.
I saw a video of that plane before I heard who it was.
Yeah.
And then saw who it was.
The initial report was it was a plane owned by Greg Biffle. So you're kind of hoping. Well, first of all, no one was hurt, and then second, he wasn't on the plane.
I mean, it wiped out the whole family, man.
That's crazy.
Don't get sacked. Don't get sacked. And throw it away.
I mean, they're doing that with a 3-man front. And again, when your front can get pressure and you don't have to blitz, you can just drop your 7 or 6 or 8 guys back and just let them play zone with a little bit of man combo.
Yep. Now, this is the time where the scream game would probably work because they're dropping players back.
No, I agree.
Or at least dump something to your back. Get him coming out of the backfield.
Yep.
Little swing pass or something, or just over the middle.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
4:37 left, 10-0. Again, next game will be at 3 p.m. Carthage versus West Orange Start. Well, they did drive over the middle. But again, when you're not having to pressure with everybody else, your linebackers can just sit in their lanes and just wait.
Yeah, number 33 is built like a grown man.
I think he's going to get defensive player of the game.
Yeah.
Mr. Taylor over here.
Unless you give it to Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Vader.
Yeah, I think Taylor's going to have. That guy's had a great game.
And he spilled some blood. I looked at his left elbow.
Yeah.
Man, Stephenville is just different when they get into the state championship games. Not quite Carthage level, but pretty close.
Well, they've been here before, and the veterans, the upperclassmen will impart some knowledge to the underclassmen.
And that's probably going to do it as Stephenville with the interception. Brooks's 4th turnover of the game. Feel bad for the kid, man. He's had such a great career, but back-to-back state championship duds.
Yeah, this one doesn't seem as bad only because the defense has played so well. But yeah, that's
It's either going to be Taylor or it's going to be, is that Jackson? Is that his name? That number 8.
Yeah.
One of
Great
the two is
job
going
of finding the ball. He found the ball better than the wide receiver. The wide receiver was there. That actually wasn't as bad as a throw as I looked. The wide receiver started backpedaling too soon. I hate
Yep.
when wide receivers do that. Always be moving forward.
His anticipation was it was going to be underthrown.
Yep.
The only thing I don't like about Jackson is he didn't have his mouth guard in.
I'm telling you, Chris, this is a thing with him. It irks him to no end.
Well, because I talked to some kids about the age of college players, and they tell me they're just doing it to show that they're tough. I'm like, that's the stupidest thing.
Saves concussions.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you'll have a sponsor like NeuroGuard, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, there's one right over there, I think.
yeah.
Right there by you. Right there, see it?
Oh yeah, right here. I got it.
Show it. No, the
Sorry.
mouth guard, not anything else.
Uh-oh.
See,
Do you want me to show it or?
NeuroGuard Plus, man, and that legitimately helps reduce concussions.
Yeah.
And it helps you perform better because what it does is it aligns your jaw so you're getting 100% oxygen and your brain staying fresh. There's no fog of war, as I like to call it.
I
thought he fumbled too. Did
Yeah.
it not look like he
It
fumbled
looked
there?
like he fumbled, which is what they should be trying to do. All right, Stephenville.
Stephenville's gonna. I think our pregame for the next one again. As soon as this game's over, we pretty much end it because I got to get ready for the next one. Our last one blows my mind how quick this season went. I think we're probably going to start around 2:30 with how much pregame I have. I have to look and be sure, but I'll have the post up there soon.
I'll try to join the start. I don't know how long I'll be able to stay for that one, but got to go get the grandkid. So.
Oh, nice.
I don't know how long West Orange Stark's going to stay in there either. I don't know. The way it's been going this week, this might be, a lot of people forget last year La Vega was in that game most of the game. Now, it was kind of like this one. You never felt La Vega would score when they would be able to, but they did a good job on Jet Surratt in that passing game. Maybe West Orange Stark can stay around, but man, I just kind of feel like we're about to have a KJ
Why
Edwards.
is there a 2-year-old kid that's shirtless?
That's the whole thing with Steven. They all take their shirts off. I kind of feel like we might see a KJ Edwards 250-yard, 4-touchdown type of game. It might be heading their way, Ted. I mean, come on now. If Steveville were to lose this would be one of the biggest collapses in state championship
Yeah, they're up
football.
10-0 with 2 minutes left.
Not quite Midland High giving up a Hail Mary, or Franklin a couple years ago against Canadian when Franklin scores with a minute left and Canadian 2 throws goes 80 yards for the win.
Well, it wasn't a championship game, but my favorite call is still the John Tyler Plano.
Oh yeah.
Call. Every time that comes up on my feed, I repost that. I'm like, just a classic broadcaster. I'm gonna throw up.
The guy from the head coach for Laga Vista, Creighton Phillips, his dad was Plano East's Scott Phillips, who was the head coach there, and so we've talked about this multiple times, but he told the story of his uncle, and again, remember this is in 94, 95. This is pre-internet, all that. So his uncle leaves the game because he has to drive. He's a preacher. He has to drive back to wherever he was living in West Texas to do his service. And he left thinking they won, wakes up the next day thinking they won, goes into church, and somebody's like, man, you must be, just heartbroken. And he's like, what are you talking about? They won, they're headed to and then they're like, no, John Tyler came back. And he didn't believe him at first. He had to then call his brother. And of course, Scott already, yes, dude, we lost,
That was crazy.
Well, 9 times out of 10, or 9.9995 times out of 10, he could have just went to sleep knowing that his team won.
Yep. I mean, that was just the whole way it worked. The comeback.
Yeah.
And then the kickoff return for a touchdown. And that was a special John Tyler team. Of course, they ended up winning state. One of the most dominating players I've ever seen, David Warren, who ended up going to Florida State and played on that national championship team. He never quite lived up to it in college, but he was still a really good player. But, man, those John Tyler teams, That was an era where Marshall and John Tyler was probably a bigger rivalry than Marshall and Longview, because that was an era for like 4 years in a row. Marshall and John Tyler were both top 5 in the state, and they split the games. Both teams, and they would be some slogs, kind of like these type of games, 10-7, 13-9.
I mean, this has been a good game. It's been turnover filled.
It's been an ugly game. I wouldn't call
It's been a
it.
little sloppy on both.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say both sides, but maybe both sides. I think it's fair. Kilgore just hasn't. Kilgore never ever got in a rhythm. At least Stephenville caught a little rhythm for a little bit.
Yep.
Kilgore never found that.
And you got to give credit to Kilgore's defense, because this is a Stephenville offense that was explosive all year. And again, I was right there with you, Chris. I thought this was going to be a 42-38 type of game.
I think once Stephenville realized Kilgore was no threat on offense, they kind of parked the bus there. Like they could be more conservative after the first quarter.
That's a good point. I wonder if Kilgore was moving the ball, how much more aggressive Stephenville would have been.
Because I really feel most of the turnovers Stephenville had in this game was in the first quarter. If I'm not mistaken. First down. I mean, at this point,
I think the quarterback's going to get player of the game, offensive.
Kilgore only has
MVP.
one timeout left. I like how angry the coach still is, knowing that he's still going to win.
It ain't over till it's over.
It's over. Like, you can see the anxiety of the head coach for Stephenville right now.
Yeah, it's like, it's okay, coach. Chill.
This coach committed. He has his beard blonde.
He did.
He's waiting for this game so he can get up to the North Pole and start packing toys.
Hope he got my list.
So this will be, I think, Stephenville's 7th state championship.
Wow.
And before Art Briles, they were a doormat. Like Brownwood, that wasn't even a rivalry anymore, because Brownwood had, of course, Gordon Wood, and even after that, had dominated that. And then Art Briles came in and just really, really put them on the map. And now Stephenville's a blue blood. Last time Kilgore was shut out in 2019 to Crandall. That was a down, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was a Kilgore team that went like 3-7 or 3-8. And Kilgore again, back-to-back state championship losses. That's such a kick in the gut.
Yeah.
Believe me, Marshall fans, we know.
0405 Marshall.
0405, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were 4-6 in 2019.
I think Kilgore should have been more aggressive earlier. They waited until 9 minutes left in the game to actually take more shots against the corners of Stephenville, but at least they even tried, because I kind of felt that they were just going to continue doing screen passes.
Yeah.
As a Dallas Cowboy fan, I'm just more used to that, where you just commit to what you know and die on that hill.
Well, I mean, again, there comes a point you can't do. You just can't start drawing things in the sand and saying, "Okay, we've never ran this play before. Let's go run this play."
I mean, but you already know what's going to happen if you keep doing the same thing you do.
I know.
And that's it. Stephenville wins 10-0. Their 7th championship.
Yep. Stephenville completes the 16-0.
And their quarterback's coming back, and their running back's coming back.
Yep. And they're always going to have size. They're always going to have a good defense. As much as you think about Stephenville and their offense, it's the physicality of their defense that has made them be consistently one of the top teams. All right, we're going to go ahead and end the stream now so we can get set up for the next one. I will post on our Facebook and all the pages what time it starts. I think it's probably going to start around 2:20 or 2:30. So in about 25 to 30 minutes, we'll be back here for our final game of the 2025 high school football season. Carthage going for their 11th state championship since 2009. Chris, thanks for joining us on this one. Hope we can see you for a little bit in the second one.